The fluorescent lights of the convenience store buzz overhead like angry wasps, and baby Emma's wails have reached a pitch that could shatter glass. I bounce her against my shoulder, feeling every eye in this godforsaken place burning into my back. "Shh, sweet girl." I know. I whisper, my voice cracking. It's been 6 hours since her last bottle. 6 hours of her tiny fists clenching and unclenching, her face turning that alarming shade of red that makes my chest tighten with panic. The formula, the hypoallergenic kind that doesn't make her break out in hives, sits on the top shelf like it's mocking me. $37. I have $19.63 in my checking account. "Excuse me, miss." The elderly woman's voice cuts through Emma's crying like a knife. She's all pearls and judgment, her lips pursed so tight they've disappeared into her face. Some of us are trying to shop in peace. I turn to face her, and I can feel my customer service smile, the one I've perfected through 4 years of waitressing, stretching across my face like plastic wrap. "I'm so sorry. She's just hungry." "Well, then perhaps you should feed her." The woman's eyes drift pointedly to the formula on the shelf, then back to me. The implication hangs in the air like smoke. "Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. Let me just pull $37 out of my ass. Would you prefer small bills or large?" I don't say that, of course. Instead I say, "Yes, ma'am, we're working on that." A little boy, maybe 5 years old, tugs on his mother's sleeve and points at us. "Mommy, why is that baby crying?" "Because some people," his mother says, not bothering to lower her voice, "shouldn't have children they can't afford." The words hit me like a slap. Emma screams louder, as if she can sense my heart breaking into smaller and smaller pieces. "I promised your mom, I think," pressing my lips to Emma's downy head. "I promised Jenna you'd never go hungry." The memory slams into me without warning. Hospital lights. The steady beep of machines suddenly becoming one long, terrible tone. My older sister's hand going limp in mine, and then the nurse placing this tiny, perfect baby in my arms and saying, "She's yours now." I was 23. I had $92 in my bank account, and a studio apartment I could barely afford. Jenna had been the responsible one, the one who had her life together, and then a drunk driver decided to run a red light, and suddenly I was all Emma had. That was 8 months ago. 8 months of learning how to be a mother when I can barely take care of myself. 8 months of discovering that love doesn't pay for formula or diapers or the electricity bill. I pull out my phone with shaking hands, and Emma's cries echo off the linoleum floor. My pride is screaming at me. Not to do this, but pride doesn't feed babies. I scroll through my contacts, looking for my friend Spencer. He lent me $50 last month. Maybe he can do it again, and my vision is blurry with tears I won't let fall. Not here. Not in front of these people who've already decided I'm a failure. My thumb hovers over his name. Please let him answer. Please let him have the money, please. I tap out a message, my hands trembling so badly I have to retype it twice. "Hey. I'm so sorry to ask, but I'm in a bad spot. Emma needs formula and I'm short. Could you possibly lend me $20? I get paid Friday and I'll pay you back immediately. I'm so sorry." I hit send before I can overthink it, before the humiliation can stop me. Emma's wails have dissolved into hiccuping sobs, and I'm bouncing her, swaying back and forth in the middle of the aisle while the fluorescent lights buzz and strangers whisper and my phone stays silent. Come on, I mutter, staring at the screen. 30 seconds pass. A minute. My phone vibrates. No problem at all. Just sent $800. Get whatever you need. I blink at the screen. Read it again. $800? My stomach drops like I've just stepped off a cliff. I scroll back up through my messages with growing horror. And there it is. I didn't text Spencer Sims. I texted Roderick Lawson. Roderick Lawson, CEO of Lawson Enterprises. The man whose office I clean every Tuesday and Thursday night when the building is empty and dark. The man I've seen exactly 4 times in the 6 months I've worked for the cleaning company, and each time he looked through me like I was invisible. The man whose contact information I have in my phone, only because he left a note once asking the cleaning staff to be careful around some important documents, and I saved his number thinking I might need to text if there was ever an emergency. The man who just sent me $800. Oh no. Oh no. I'm whispering it like a prayer, Like if I say it enough times, this will all be a nightmare I can wake up from. Emma has quieted, sensing my panic, and I look down at her big brown eyes, Jenna's eyes, and feel the weight of every bad decision I've ever made pressing down on my shoulders. I have to give it back. Obviously. I'll text him immediately, explain the mistake, return the money, but Emma lets out a small, hungry whimper, and my eyes drift back to the formula on the shelf. What if I just bought the formula first, and then gave back the rest? That would be okay, right? I'd be returning almost all of it. This is wrong, my conscience whispers. This is so wrong. But Emma is hungry, and the electricity bill is due tomorrow, and I have a notice on my door saying they're going to shut off the water if I don't pay by Friday, and my phone vibrates again. Is everything okay? Do you need more? I stare at the message, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. The smart thing would be to come clean right now, to say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Lawson. I texted you by mistake. I'm sending the money back immediately." Instead, I find myself typing, "Thank you so much. This helps more than you know. I'll pay you back as soon as I can." The moment I hit send, guilt crashes over me like a wave. What am I doing? This is my boss's boss's boss. This is Roderick Lawson, who wears suits that probably cost more than my car and who has never, not once, looked me in the eye. Don't worry about paying it back. Just take care of what you need to take care of. I'm going to be sick. I'm actually going to throw up right here in aisle 7 of this convenience store. Miss? The cashier is looking at me with concern now, her earlier judgment replaced with something that might be pity. Are you okay? Yes, I manage. Yes, I'm fine. I'm not fine, I'm the opposite of fine. But Emma is quiet now, hopeful, and my bank account has $800 in it that I didn't have 5 minutes ago. I grab the formula off the shelf. Then I grab 3 more containers because who knows when I'll be able to afford it again. I add diapers, wipes, the good kind of baby food Emma actually likes. At the checkout, the total comes to $93, and I don't even flinch when I hand over my card. It goes through. Of course it goes through. The cashier bags everything with a small smile. Your baby is beautiful. Thank you, I whisper. And I have to bite my lip to keep from crying. In my car, a Toyota with 200,000 miles and a check engine light that's been on for 6 months. I mix Emma's bottle with shaking hands. She latches on immediately, her eyes drifting closed in relief, and I watch her drink with tears streaming down my face. I'm sorry, I tell her. I'm so sorry, I'm such a mess. But she's not listening. She's just drinking, content, trusting that I'll take care of her. I pull out my phone and stare at the message thread with Roderick Lawson. I should tell him. I should tell him right now. Instead, I save his number under a different name, just R, so I won't make this mistake again. You're going to fix this, I tell myself. You're going to return the money. You're going to tell him the truth. But even as I think it, I know I'm lying to myself. Because how do you tell a millionaire that you accidentally begged him for money? How do you face that humiliation? Emma finishes her bottle and lets out a satisfied sigh, milk-drunk and peaceful. I buckle her into her car seat and start driving toward our apartment, and with every mile, the weight of what I've done settles deeper into my bones. I've just taken money from Roderick Lawson under false pretenses, and on Tuesday night, when I show up to clean his office, I'm going to have to face him. Maybe he won't even remember, I think desperately. Maybe $800 is like pocket change to him. Maybe he sends money to random people all the time, but I know that's not true. Nobody just sends $800 to a stranger without expecting something. And on Tuesday, I'm going to find out exactly what Roderick Lawson expects from me. Chapter 2. The Confrontation. Tuesday night arrives like an executioner's appointment. I've spent the last 3 days rehearsing what I'm going to say to Roderick Lawson. I've practiced in the shower, in front of the mirror, while feeding Emma at 3 a.m. None of the speeches sound right. They all sound like what they are, desperate attempts to explain the inexplicable. Mr. Lawson, I'm so sorry. I texted you by mistake. Mr. Lawson, there was a terrible misunderstanding. Mr. Lawson, please don't have me arrested. My cleaning shift starts at 9 p.m. when the building is supposed to be empty. That's the whole point. We come in after everyone leaves, clean their messes, and disappear before they return. Invisible labor by invisible people. But tonight, as I push my cart off the elevator onto the executive floor, I can see light spilling from beneath Roderick Lawson's office door. My heart drops into my stomach. He's still here. Of course he's still here. The universe hates you, Stella. I consider turning around, getting back on the elevator, and calling in sick. But I've already used 2 sick days this month when Emma had that stomach bug, and I can't afford to lose this job. Not now. Not ever. So I do what I always do. I put my head down and push my cart forward. Maybe he won't come out. Maybe I can clean around his office and deal with it on Thursday when he's definitely gone. I'm dusting the assistant's desk outside his door when I hear footsteps approaching from inside. I freeze, duster in hand, like a deer caught in headlights. The door opens. Roderick Lawson steps out, and for the first time in 6 months, he actually looks directly at me. I've seen him before, of course, in passing, in glimpses, always from a distance, always briefly. I know he's tall, over 6 feet, with dark hair that's just starting to silver at the temples. I know he wears expensive suits and walks like he owns the world, which, considering his net worth, he kind of does. But I've never been this close to him before. Never seen the gold flecks in his dark eyes, or the small scar above his left eyebrow, or the way his jaw tightens when he's trying to figure something out. He's trying to figure me out right now. "You're Stella," he says, and it's not a question. My mouth goes dry. "Yes, sir." "You clean my office." "Yes, sir." We stand there in silence, and I'm acutely aware of my stained uniform polo, my hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, the faint smell of bleach that clings to my hands. He's wearing a white dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up, no tie, and he looks tired, really tired. There are shadows under his eyes that I recognize, the kind that come from too many sleepless nights. "I need to talk to you," he says finally. Here it comes. He's going to demand the money back. He's going to call the police. He's going to have me fired. Of course. I manage, my voice barely above a whisper. He gestures toward his office, and I follow him inside on shaking legs. I've cleaned this office probably 50 times, but I've never been in it while he was here. It feels different. Smaller, somehow, despite being massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city, and his desk is covered in papers and what looks like architectural plans. He doesn't sit behind his desk. Instead, he leans against it, arms crossed, studying me with an intensity that makes me want to disappear into the floor. "The money I sent you," he says. "Was it enough?" I blink. Of all the things I expected him to say, that wasn't it. "I what?" "You said you needed it for your baby. For formula. Was $800 enough? Or do you need more?" My brain is short-circuiting. This isn't how this conversation is supposed to go. "Mr. Lawson." I take a deep breath, forcing myself to meet his eyes. "I need to explain. That text wasn't meant for you. I was trying to text a friend, and I hit the wrong contact, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to pay you back every penny, I swear. I just need a little time. You texted the wrong person." His voice is flat, unreadable. "Yes, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake." Something flickers across his face, surprise, maybe, or disbelief. "You needed money for baby formula, and you accidentally asked me instead of whoever you meant to ask?" "Yes." My cheeks are burning. It was an accident. A stupid, horrible accident. He's quiet for a long moment, and I can see him processing this. Then, unexpectedly, his lips twitch. "That's either the truth or the worst scam I've ever heard." "It's the truth," I say quickly. "I would never. I'm not trying to scam you. I'm going to pay you back." "With what money?" The question isn't cruel, just practical. If you needed to borrow $20 for formula, how are you going to pay back $800? The shame is suffocating. "I'll figure it out. I always figure it out." He studies me for another long moment, and I force myself not to look away. Whatever he's searching for in my face, I hope he finds it. "How old is your baby?" he asks finally. The question catches me off guard. 8 months. Her name is Emma. "Emma," he repeats, and something in his expression softens just slightly. "And her father?" "Not in the picture." The words come out harder than I intend. "It's just me and Emma." Another silence. This one feels different, heavier. Keep the money, he says. What? No, I can't. You can and you will. His voice is firm, final. Consider it a gift. Mr. Lawson, I don't take charity. It's not charity. He pushes off from his desk, and suddenly he's standing right in front of me. Close enough that I have to tilt my head back to look at him. Close enough that I can smell his cologne, something expensive and woodsy. You take care of my office. You're thorough, careful. You reorganize things that get messy. Last week, you found a contract I thought I'd lost and left it on my chair with a note. I remember that. The papers had fallen behind his filing cabinet. I'd spent 20 minutes fishing them out. That contract was worth $3 million, he continues. So, $800 feels like a fair thank you, don't you think? I stare at him, trying to figure out if he's serious. You're thanking me for doing my job? I'm thanking you for doing it well. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a business card, pressing it into my hand. If you need anything else, more formula, diapers, whatever, text me. The actual me this time, not by accident. I look down at the card. It's heavy stock, embossed letters. Roderick Lawson, CEO. Lawson Enterprises. I don't understand, I whisper. What's not to understand? Why are you being so nice to me? The question seems to surprise him. His eyebrows draw together, and for a moment, he looks almost confused. Why wouldn't I be? Because people like you don't see people like me, I think. Because I'm the cleaning lady. Because I'm invisible. But I don't say any of that. Instead, I just shake my head. Thank you, really. Thank you so much. You're welcome. He moves back toward his desk, putting distance between us, and just like that, the moment is over. I should let you get back to work. It's a dismissal, polite but clear. I should leave. I should take my cart and my duster and get out of here before I say something stupid. But my feet won't move. Mr. Lawson? He looks up from the papers on his desk. Yes? Why were you still here? It's almost 10 o'clock. Another flicker of surprise crosses his face, like he's not used to people asking him personal questions. I could ask you the same thing. Don't you have a baby at home? My neighbor watches her during my shift. Mrs. Chen. I stop, remembering the instructions. Not that name. Mrs. Bolton. She's retired, likes the company. He nods slowly. I'm here because I have a project due tomorrow, and I'm behind. Story of my life lately. There's something in his voice, exhaustion, frustration, maybe loneliness, that makes him seem suddenly human. Not a CEO, not a millionaire. Just a tired man working late. The coffee in the break room is terrible, I blurt out. But there's a good pot in the kitchen on the 20th floor. And there are those chocolate croissants in the executive fridge that nobody ever eats. He stares at me. I immediately regret speaking. Sorry, that was inappropriate. I shouldn't. No, he interrupts. That's actually helpful. Thank you. We look at each other for a beat too long. And something passes between us. Something I can't quite name. Then my phone buzzes in my pocket, shattering the moment. I pull it out, and my heart sinks. It's a text from Taylor, my neighbor. Emma's running a fever. 101.2. Do you have infant Tylenol? The blood drains from my face. I have to go, I say, already backing toward the door. I'm sorry. Emma's sick. I have to go, Roderick says immediately. Don't worry about the cleaning, but I'll get written up. I'll handle it. Go take care of your daughter. I don't need to be told twice. I'm already running for the elevator, pulling out my phone to call Taylor, my heart pounding with the specific terror that only a parent knows. The elevator doors are closing when I hear him call out, Stella. I jam my hand between the doors, and they reopen. Roderick is standing in the hallway, and he looks almost uncertain. Text me when you know she's okay. It's such a strange request, so unexpected, that I can only nod. Then the doors close, and I'm racing down to the lobby, out to my car, driving too fast through the dark streets toward my apartment. Emma's fever breaks around midnight. It was just a virus, nothing serious. But those 2 hours of watching her tiny body burn up, of pressing cool washcloths to her forehead while she whimpered, those were the longest hours of my life. When she finally falls asleep, cool to the touch, breathing peacefully, I collapse on my couch and pull out my phone. There's a text from Roderick. "Everything okay?" I stare at it for a long moment, then I type, "She's fine, fever broke, thank you for asking." His response comes immediately. "Good. Get some rest." And then, a moment later, "You're a good mother, Stella." I read that text 17 times before I finally fall asleep. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why Roderick Lawson is being kind to me, or why he seems to actually see me when everyone else looks through me. But something shifted tonight. Something changed, and as I drift off, Emma sleeping peacefully in her crib beside me, I can't shake the feeling that my life is about to get a lot more complicated. Chapter 3. The Offer. I don't see Roderick Lawson for 3 weeks. Not on Thursday, when I return to finish cleaning his office. Not the following Tuesday. Not the Thursday after that. His office is always empty when I arrive. The lights off, the desk neat. But there are small signs that he's been there. A coffee mug still warm in the sink, papers rearranged, the faint smell of his cologne lingering in the air. It shouldn't bother me. This is how it's supposed to be. I clean when he's gone, and our paths never cross. That's the natural order of things. But I find myself looking for him anyway. Listening for his voice in the hallways. Checking my phone for texts that never come. "You're being ridiculous," I tell myself. "He was nice to you once. That doesn't mean anything." Except it did mean something. For the first time in 8 months, someone saw me. Really saw me. Not as the struggling single mom or the cleaning lady or Jenna's screw-up little sister. Just me. And now he's gone. Life, meanwhile, continues its relentless march forward. Emma gets her first tooth, which means no one in our apartment sleeps for 4 days straight. The water heater breaks, and I spend a week boiling pots of water for baths, until I can scrape together enough for repairs. My car makes a new sound, a grinding noise that the mechanic says will cost $800 to fix. I don't have $800. I used Roderick's money for formula, diapers, the overdue electricity bill, and a stock of baby food that I'm rationing like we're preparing for the apocalypse. So the car keeps grinding, and I keep driving it, and I pray to whoever might be listening that it doesn't die completely. It's Tuesday night, 3 weeks after the fever incident, when everything changes. I'm cleaning the 23rd floor, not Roderick's floor, just regular offices, when my supervisor calls. "Stella, I need you to go up to 25, executive suite." My heart does a weird flip. I cleaned Mr. Lawson's office on Thursday. Not his office. Conference room B. There's been a situation. A situation, in cleaning company terminology, means someone made a spectacular mess, usually involving the coffee machine or, in one memorable case, a birthday cake that somehow ended up on the ceiling. I take my card up to 25, mentally preparing myself for whatever disaster awaits. The conference room door is open, and I can hear voices inside. Multiple voices. A meeting. I hover in the hallway, uncertain. I can't exactly vacuum while people are talking. Completely unacceptable. "We needed those projections yesterday." That's Roderick's voice. Sharp, frustrated, not at all like the tired man who told me I was a good mother. "I understand, sir. But the data wasn't. I don't want excuses. I want solutions." There's a long pause, and then footsteps approaching the door. I step back, trying to make myself invisible, but I'm not fast enough. Roderick walks out, and nearly collides with me and my cleaning cart. We both freeze. He's wearing a charcoal suit tonight, perfectly tailored, his tie slightly loosened. He looks exhausted and irritated, and for a moment, I think he's going to walk right past me like I'm not even there. But then his expression shifts. The hard edges soften. "Stella, Mr. Lawson." My voice comes out steadier than I feel. "I'm sorry. They said there was a mess in the conference room, but I can come back." "No." He glances back at the room, where I can see several men in suits shuffling papers and avoiding eye contact. Actually, perfect timing. Meeting's over anyway. He turns back to the room. "Gentlemen, we're done for tonight. Have those revised projections on my desk by 8 a.m. There's a chorus of "Yes, sir," and the sound of briefcases snapping shut. The men file out, each one giving me barely a glance as they pass. I'm furniture to them. Background noise. But Roderick is still standing there, studying me with that intense focus that makes my skin prickle. "How's Emma?" he asks when the hallway empties. The question catches me off guard. "She's good." The tooth finally came in. The fever was from teething. Something in his tone suggests he's been thinking about this, which is absurd. Why would Roderick Lawson spend any time thinking about my baby's fever? The doctor thinks so. It happens sometimes, apparently. He nods, then gestures toward the conference room. There's coffee spilled on the table. And someone knocked over the recycling bin. Shouldn't take long to clean. I'll get right on it. I move to push my cart forward, but he doesn't step aside. He's blocking my path. And from the look on his face, it's intentional. "Actually, before you do that, can we talk?" My stomach tightens. Of course. He runs a hand through his hair, the first nervous gesture I've ever seen from him. "I have a proposition for you." Oh God. Here it comes. He wants something in return for the money. I knew it. I knew there would be strings attached. "Okay," I say carefully. "I need an assistant." I blink. "I'm sorry?" "An assistant. Someone to handle my schedule, manage my correspondence, keep my office organized. My last assistant quit 2 months ago, decided to go to grad school, and the temp agency keeps sending people who can't tell the difference between urgent and important. I'm sorry to hear that. I want you to do it." The words hang in the air between us, and I'm certain I've misheard. "You want me to do what?" "Be my assistant. I've watched you work for months, Stella. You're meticulous, you're reliable, and you clearly understand how to prioritize. When you found that contract, you didn't just leave it on my desk. You left a note explaining where it had been and suggesting I might want to check behind the filing cabinet more regularly. That shows initiative. Mr. Lawson, I appreciate the offer, but I'm not qualified. I'll train you. Everything you need to know, I'll teach you. I don't have the right education. Neither did my last assistant when she started. She had a high school diploma and a lot of determination. You have the same, plus you already know this building, my schedule, how I work." I shake my head, trying to process this. "Why me? You could hire anyone. Someone with experience, with references. I'm hiring you." His voice is firm. $50,000 a year, full benefits, health insurance that covers dependents. The number hits me like a physical blow. $50,000, health insurance for Emma. I make $22,000 a year cleaning offices. I can't finish the sentence. My brain has stopped working. "It's a fair salary for the position," Roderick continues, and now there's something almost gentle in his tone. "The hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, weekends off. You'd have your own desk right outside my office, your own computer. There's a daycare on the 3rd floor, executive perk. Emma would be in the building with you." A daycare. I repeat it like the words are in a foreign language. "Top rated. The wait list is usually 6 months, but I can get Emma in by next Monday." This isn't real. This can't be real. "Mr. Lawson, I don't understand. Why are you doing this?" He's quiet for a moment, and I watch something complicated move across his face. "You said you needed help. I'm offering help. Is that so hard to believe? From you?" "Yes." The words come out before I can stop them, and I immediately want to take them back. "I'm sorry. That was rude." "No, it was honest." He leans against the doorframe, and for the first time since I've known him, he looks almost vulnerable. "You think I don't notice things, Stella? You think I don't see how hard you work? I've seen you clean offices at 11 p.m., and then head to what I assume is a second job. I've seen you take phone calls about sick babies and overdue bills. I've watched you hold your head up when people treat you like you're invisible." My throat is tight. "You noticed all that?" "I notice everything." He says it simply, like it's a fact. "So here's what I'm offering. A job that pays better, has better hours, and gets your daughter into a good daycare. You can accept it or not. But don't reject it because you think you don't deserve it." I stop. Because what I was going to say is, I don't deserve it. And he clearly anticipated that. "Think about it," Roderick says. "You don't have to answer right now. Clean the conference room, finish your shift, go home and sleep on it. But Stella?" He waits until I meet his eyes. "I'm not offering this out of pity. I'm offering it because I think you'll be good at the job. Maybe even great at it. Then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out another business card. This one has different information written on the back in his handwriting. A phone number, an email address, and a date. If you want the job, show up here Monday at 8 a.m. If not, I'll respect your decision, and we'll never speak of this again. He places the card in my hand, and his fingers brush against mine for just a second. The touch is brief, professional, but I feel it like an electric shock. Have a good night, Stella. Then he walks away, leaving me standing in the hallway with a cleaning cart, a business card, and a choice that could change everything. I don't clean the conference room right away. I can't. My hands are shaking too badly. Instead, I push my cart to the utility closet, lock myself inside, and call the one person who might help me make sense of this. Stella? What's wrong? Is Emma okay? Nikki's voice is thick with sleep. It's almost 11 p.m., and she has to be up at 5 for her nursing shift. Emma's fine, I'm fine. I'm sorry for calling so late, but I need to talk to someone before my head explodes. Okay, I'm awake, talk to me. I tell her everything. The wrong text, the money, the fever, and now the job offer that feels too good to be true. When I finish, there's a long silence on the other end. Nikki? You still there? I'm here. I'm just trying to figure out if you've lost your mind. What? Stella, he's offering you a dream job, $50,000 a year, health insurance, daycare in the building. Why are we even having this conversation? Because it's weird. I hiss, keeping my voice low. CEOs don't just offer jobs to their cleaning ladies. There has to be a catch. The catch is that you have to work for him. That's literally the job description. But why me? He could hire anyone. Because you're smart and capable and you work 3 jobs to take care of your baby? Because he actually sees that? Stella, when was the last time someone offered you something good without strings attached? I'm quiet, because the answer is, never. Every good thing in my life has come with a price tag. I'm scared, I whisper. What if I screw it up? What if I'm terrible at it, and he fires me, and then I've lost my cleaning job too? What if you're great at it? Nikki counters. What if this is the break you've been waiting for? Stella, you're raising a baby alone. You're working yourself to death. Someone is offering you a rope, and you're analyzing the fiber content instead of grabbing on. That's a terrible metaphor. It's 11 p.m. My metaphors aren't going to be great, but my advice is solid. Take the job. Just like that? Just like that. What's the worst that can happen? I could get hurt, I think. I could start to hope, and then it could all fall apart. And I could end up worse than where I started. But what I say is, I could fail. You could, Nikki agrees. Or you could succeed, but you'll never know if you don't try. After I hang up, I stand in the utility closet for a long time, staring at the business card in my hand. Monday, at 8 a.m. That's 4 days from now. 4 days to make a decision that could change my entire life. I think about Emma, about the formula I'm constantly calculating how to afford, about the grinding sound my car makes that I can't fix, about the studio apartment with the leaky faucet and the neighbors who complain every time Emma cries. I think about Roderick Lawson's tired eyes and his unexpected kindness, about the way he said, "You're a good mother, Stella," like he meant it. And I think about what Jenna would say if she were here. She'd probably tell me I was an idiot for even hesitating. She'd tell me to take the job, to take the chance, to stop being so afraid of everything. I miss you, I think, and the grief hits me fresh, like it always does. I miss you so much, and I'm trying so hard to do right by Emma, but I don't know what I'm doing. But Jenna's not here. It's just me, and I have to decide. I pull out my phone and stare at the new contact information Roderick gave me. My thumb hovers over the keyboard. Then, before I can overthink it, I type, "I'll be there Monday at 8 a.m. Thank you for this opportunity." I hit send before I can change my mind. His response comes 90 seconds later. "I'll see you then. Get some rest, Stella. You've got a big week ahead." I read the text 3 times, and then I save his number under his full name, Roderick Lawson, no more hiding behind just R. Then I finish cleaning the conference room, complete my shift, and drive home with my grinding car and my racing thoughts. When I get to my apartment, Taylor is waiting up with Emma. "How was work?" she asks. handing over my sleeping baby. Interesting, I say, and it might be the understatement of the century. That night, I hold Emma close and whisper all my fears and hopes into her downy hair. I tell her about the job, about the daycare, about the chance we've been given. And when she sighs in her sleep, content and trusting, I make a promise. I'm going to make this work. Whatever it takes, however scared I am, I'm going to take this chance and make it count. Because that's what mothers do. We face the impossible, and we figure it out. Starting Monday, I'm going to be Roderick Lawson's assistant. God help us both. Chapter 4. The first day. Monday morning arrives with all the mercy of a freight train. I'm awake at 5 a.m., even though I don't need to be. Emma's still sleeping, her tiny fist curled near her cheek, completely unaware that today is the day her mother either rises to the occasion or crashes and burns spectacularly. I've laid out my outfit 3 times. It's not much, a black pencil skirt I found at Goodwill, a white blouse that's slightly too big, and the only pair of heels I own that don't have scuff marks. I look like I'm playing dress up in someone else's life. Fake it till you make it, I tell myself, applying mascara with shaking hands. You can do this. By 7:30, Emma and I are in the car, her diaper bag packed with enough supplies for a week-long expedition. The grinding noise is worse this morning, like the car knows I can't afford for it to die today of all days. Please, I whisper to the dashboard. Just get us there. Just today. The car cooperates, and we pull into the Lawson Enterprises parking garage at 7:52. I have 8 minutes. Emma is babbling happily in her car seat, playing with her toes, blissfully unaware that her mother is having a minor panic attack. Okay. Sweet girl, I tell her, unbuckling her and hoisting her onto my hip. Here we go. New adventure. She grabs my hair and yanks, which I'm choosing to interpret as encouragement. The elevator ride to the 3rd floor feels like it takes hours. When the doors open, I'm greeted by cheerful yellow walls covered in children's artwork and the sound of kids laughing. The daycare is beautiful. Bright, clean, with toys that look new and staff members who actually smile. It's the kind of place I've looked at online and immediately closed the tab because the monthly cost was more than my rent. You must be Stella. A woman in her 50s approaches, her smile warm and genuine. I'm Catherine, the director. And this must be Emma. Emma hides her face in my neck, suddenly shy. She's not usually like this, I say quickly. She's normally very social. Honey, it's a new place. She's allowed to be nervous. Catherine's tone is kind, not judging. Why don't you come in, and we'll do a slow introduction. You're not due upstairs until 8, right? We have time. The next 20 minutes are a blur of Emma being coaxed into playing with building blocks while I fill out paperwork and try not to cry at the medical release forms that ask for father's information, and the line I have to leave blank. She's going to be just fine, Catherine assures me, sensing my anxiety. We have your number, and Mr. Lawson made it very clear that you're to be called immediately if there's any concern at all. He was quite insistent about that. He was? The surprise must show on my face. Catherine's smile turns knowing. Very insistent. You're lucky to work for him. He's a good man. I want to ask what she means by that, but it's 7:58, and I need to get upstairs. Leaving Emma is harder than I expected. She reaches for me as I back toward the door, her little face crumpling, and it takes everything I have not to scoop her up and run. Mama will be right upstairs, I tell her, my voice cracking. Just a few floors up. I'll come visit at lunch, okay? She doesn't understand, of course. She's 8 months old. She just knows I'm leaving, and she doesn't like it. But Catherine is already distracting her with a colorful toy, and I force myself to turn around and walk out before I can change my mind. The elevator ride to the 25th floor is accompanied by the sound of my heart trying to beat its way out of my chest. You can do this. You can do this. You can. The doors open. Roderick is standing right there, waiting. He's in a navy suit today, perfectly pressed, his hair still slightly damp like he just showered. He looks alert, professional, completely in control. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Good morning, Stella. His voice is formal, businesslike, right on time. Good morning, Mr. Lawson. Roderick, he corrects. Or Lawson if you prefer. But not Mr. Lawson. That makes me feel ancient. Roderick, I repeat, and the name feels strange in my mouth. Too familiar, too personal. He gestures toward a desk positioned just outside his office door. It's a beautiful desk, sleek, modern, with 2 monitors and a chair that looks like it costs more than my monthly rent. This is your space, he says. I've had IT set up your computer. Password is taped underneath the keyboard. You'll want to change it immediately. Phone system is fairly intuitive, but I'll walk you through it. I set my purse down slowly, afraid to touch anything. Everything looks expensive and important, and I'm just a girl who cleans offices and accidentally texts millionaires. Stella. Roderick's voice is gentler now. Breathe. I look up at him, and he's watching me with something that might be amusement or might be concern. I'm breathing, I manage. You look terrified. I am terrified. Don't be. He leans against my new desk, and the casual gesture somehow makes him less intimidating. You're going to make mistakes. Everyone does on their first day. But you're also going to figure things out faster than you think. You're smart, Stella. Trust yourself. The kindness in his voice makes my throat tight. What if I let you down? You won't. He says it with such certainty that I almost believe him. Now, let's start with the easy stuff. Coffee preferences. The next 3 hours are a crash course in being a corporate assistant. Roderick walks me through his calendar system, which is color-coded and requires 3 different apps to sync properly. He shows me how to screen calls, how to prioritize emails, and how to tell the difference between meetings he absolutely must attend and meetings he'd rather set himself on fire than sit through. If Salvador from accounting calls, he says, pulling up a contact list, tell him I died, tell him I moved to Tibet, tell him anything except that I'm available. Is Salvador from accounting that bad? Salvador from accounting once spent 45 minutes explaining his fantasy football strategy to me. I will never get that time back. And I'm still bitter about it. I laugh before I can stop myself, and something shifts in Roderick's expression. His mouth curves into a small smile, the first genuine one I've seen from him. There, he says. That's better. You looked like you were about to face a firing squad. I felt like it. Well, stop. You're doing fine. He glances at his watch. I have a conference call in 10 minutes. Think you can handle the phones while I'm in my office? Panic flares. Already? Stella. He waits until I meet his eyes. You've got this. Then he disappears into his office, and I'm alone at my desk with 2 monitors, a phone that looks like it requires an engineering degree to operate, and the crushing weight of not wanting to screw this up. The phone rings approximately 30 seconds later. I stare at it like it's a live grenade. Answer it. Just answer it. I pick up the receiver. Roderick Lawson's office. This is Stella speaking. Finally, someone new. The voice on the other end is male, cheerful, and vaguely familiar. I'm Wilson from the legal department. Is the big boss available? I glance at Roderick's closed door, behind which I can hear his voice on the conference call. He's in a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Sure. Tell him the Mercer contract needs his signature by tomorrow, or the whole deal falls through. It's urgent. I scramble for a pen, knocking over a cup of pens in the process. They scatter across my desk like marbles. Mercer contract, signature, tomorrow, got it. You sound stressed. First day? Is it that obvious? Wilson laughs. Only because you sound like you're defusing a bomb. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. Lawson's demanding, but he's fair. And word of advice? He takes his coffee black, no sugar, and if you can figure out how to have it ready when he needs it without him asking, you'll be his favorite person. That seems oddly specific. I've been here 7 years. You learn things. Good luck, Stella. He hangs up, and I stare at the phone for a moment before carefully writing down the message in what I hope is legible handwriting. The rest of the morning passes in a blur of phone calls, emails, and trying to figure out where Roderick keeps his printer paper. Answer. In a cabinet that looks decorative but is actually functional, because of course it is. At noon, Roderick emerges from his office looking frustrated. That call was a disaster, he says, running a hand through his hair. The development team is 3 weeks behind. And he stops, noticing the stack of messages on my desk. What's all this? Phone messages. You had 17 calls. I hand him the neat stack, organized by priority level based on what I could figure out from context clues. He flips through them, and his eyebrows rise. You organized these. By urgency. The red tabs are time-sensitive, yellow are important but flexible, green are routine. Where did you learn to do that? I didn't. It just seemed logical. He looks at me for a long moment, and I can't read his expression. Then he says, "This is exactly what my last assistant did. It took her 3 months to develop this system." My heart sinks. I'm sorry, should I have asked first? I can redo them. No. He's shaking his head, and now he's smiling. Actually smiling. This is perfect. This is. Stella, you're a natural at this. The compliment makes my cheeks warm. I should probably go check on Emma. It's lunchtime. Go. Take an hour. There's a cafe on the second floor if you want to grab food. I'm already halfway to the elevator when he calls out, "Stella?" I turn back. "You're doing great," he says. "Really great." I try to respond, but my throat is too tight. So I just nod and press the elevator button before he can see the tears in my eyes. Emma is having the time of her life. When I arrive at the daycare, she's in a circle with 4 other babies, all of them gnawing on various toys and babbling at each other in that incomprehensible baby language. "Mama." She shrieks when she sees me, and my heart nearly explodes. "Hey, sweet girl." I scoop her up, and she immediately tries to eat my hair. "Are you having fun?" "She's been wonderful," Catherine says, appearing beside me. "Ate all her lunch, took a good nap. And she's already made friends with baby Noah over there." I look at Noah, who is currently trying to fit his entire fist in his mouth. He and Emma exchange looks that seem deeply meaningful in the way that only babies can manage. "I'm glad she's doing well," I say, bouncing Emma on my hip. "I was worried. Every mother worries on the first day." "You're doing fine, both of you." I spend my lunch hour on the floor with Emma, feeding her bits of banana and listening to her babble about her morning. She seems happy, genuinely happy. And for the first time in 8 months, I let myself feel something I haven't allowed in a long time: hope. Maybe this is going to work out. Maybe we're going to be okay. When I return to the 25th floor, there's a sandwich and a coffee on my desk with a note in Roderick's handwriting. "Figured you might forget to eat. The coffee is terrible. Office pot. But it's caffeinated. R." I sit down at my desk, looking at this small gesture of thoughtfulness, and I feel something warm unfurl in my chest. This is my life now. This desk, this job, this man who notices when people need coffee. The afternoon flies by in a rush of emails and phone calls. By the time 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm exhausted, but in a good way. A productive way. "Stella?" Roderick appears in his doorway. "Do you have a second before you leave?" My stomach tightens. Here it comes. He's going to tell me I messed something up. I follow him into his office, where he gestures to the chair across from his desk. "Sit." I sit. He leans back in his chair, studying me. "How was your first day?" "Overwhelming," I answer honestly. "But good, I think." "You think? Or you know?" "I know?" "Stella. You exceeded every expectation I had. You organized my messages, handled 17 phone calls without routing a single one to me incorrectly, and you figured out my calendar system in 3 hours. My last assistant took a week." I stare at him. "Really? Really?" He opens a drawer and pulls out a folder. "This is your official employment packet. Insurance cards, benefits information, direct deposit forms. There's also a company credit card for business expenses, lunches, supplies, anything you need." He slides it all across the desk, and I look at it like it might bite me. "A credit card? For business expenses," he repeats. "If I ask you to order lunch for a meeting, you don't pay for it out of pocket. If you need office supplies, you don't ask me first. Use your judgment." "My judgment." "Yes, Stella, your judgment." There's amusement in his voice now. "I hired you because I trust you. So trust yourself." I gather the folder carefully, like it's made of glass. "Thank you. For all of this. For the opportunity." "Stop thanking me." But his tone is gentle. "You earned this. Now go pick up Emma and go home. Same time tomorrow?" "Same time tomorrow," I agree. I'm at the door when he speaks again. Stella, I turn. He's watching me with an expression I can't quite read. I'm glad you took the job. Me too, I whisper. And I mean it. That night, after Emma is asleep and I'm lying in bed staring at the ceiling, I let myself acknowledge the truth I've been avoiding all day. This isn't just about the job. It's not just about the money, or the insurance, or the daycare. It's about Roderick Lawson and the way he looks at me like I'm someone worth seeing, and that terrifies me more than anything else. Chapter 5. Becoming indispensable. 3 weeks into the job, and I still feel like I'm waiting for someone to realize they made a mistake. But nobody does. Instead, something unexpected happens. I get good at this. Really good. It starts small. I learn that Roderick likes his morning coffee at 8:15, right after his first call with the development team. I learn that he skips lunch when he's stressed, so I start keeping protein bars in my desk drawer and leaving them on his desk with pointed notes. I learn that he paces when he's thinking, that he runs his hand through his hair when he's frustrated, and that he has a tell when he's about to say no to something. His jaw tightens just slightly. I learn to anticipate what he needs before he asks for it. Stella, can you pull the Henderson file? Already on your desk. Or, I need to reschedule. The meeting with Don Cruz? Already moved to Thursday at 2. His assistant confirmed. After the 5th time I finish his sentences, Roderick leans back in his chair and says, "Are you reading my mind, or am I just that predictable?" "You're predictable," I tell him, and then immediately worry that was too familiar. I mean in a good way. "You're consistent. It makes my job easier." Consistent. He tests the word like it's foreign. My ex-wife would have said boring. It's the first time he's mentioned being married, and I don't know what to do with that information. Consistent isn't boring, I say carefully. Consistent means reliable, trustworthy. Something shifts in his expression. "Is that what you think I am? Trustworthy?" The question feels weighted, important somehow. "Yes." He holds my gaze for a moment too long. And then his phone rings, breaking the spell. But I think about that conversation for the rest of the day. Week 4. And Roderick starts staying later at the office. Not every night, but often enough that I notice. Often enough that I start staying later too. Because leaving while he's still working feels wrong somehow. "You don't have to stay," he tells me one Thursday evening when it's pushing 7 o'clock. "Emma needs you at home." Emma's with Taylor. She does dinner and bedtime on Thursdays, so I can work late if needed. I don't mention that I'm paying Taylor extra for this, or that the extra hours I'm putting in aren't technically required. Besides, you're behind on expense reports, and if I don't organize them, you'll just shove them in a drawer and forget about them. I would never. He stops when I raise an eyebrow. Okay. I absolutely would do that. I know. That's why I'm staying. He watches me for a moment, and there's something soft in his expression. "You're very good at your job, Stella. Don't sound so surprised." I'm not surprised. I'm impressed. There's a difference. The compliment makes warmth bloom in my chest, and I turn back to my computer before he can see how much it affects me. We work in comfortable silence for the next hour. Every so often, I hear him moving around in his office, the shuffle of papers, the click of his keyboard, the occasional frustrated sigh that means he's hit a roadblock. Around 8, my stomach growls loud enough that I'm certain he hears it through the wall. 5 minutes later, he appears at my desk with his jacket on. "Come on." "What?" "You're hungry." "I'm hungry. We're taking a break. I can just grab something from the vending machine." "Stella." He's already heading toward the elevator. "Stop arguing and come on." I follow him because, apparently, that's what I do now. I follow Roderick Lawson places, and try not to think too hard about what that means. We end up at a small Italian restaurant 2 blocks from the office. It's the kind of place that's nice but not fancy white tablecloths, candles, soft music playing in the background. "Is this okay?" Roderick asks as the hostess leads us to a booth in the back. I know it's not much, but they make the best pasta in the city. "It's perfect," I say, and I mean it. We order. He gets spaghetti carbonara. I get chicken parmigiana because I've never had it and it sounds fancy, and then we're just sitting there, looking at each other across the table. It feels like a date. It's not a date. Obviously. This is my boss taking his assistant to dinner. Because they both need to eat. This is normal. Professional. except it doesn't feel professional when he smiles at me over his wine glass, or when our knees accidentally bump under the table and he doesn't pull away immediately. "Tell me about Emma," he says. "How's she adjusting to daycare?" "She loves it." Catherine says, "She's the most social baby in her group, always babbling at the other kids, sharing toys." Well, sharing is a generous term. Mostly she steals toys and then acts offended when the other babies want them back. Roderick laughs, and the sound does something to my insides. She sounds like a future CEO. God help us all if she inherits my stubbornness and Jenna's ambition. "Jenna was your sister?" I nod, suddenly finding my water glass very interesting. "Yeah, she was. She was everything I'm not. Smart, put together. Had her whole life planned out. Past tense," Roderick says quietly. "She died. 8 months ago. Car accident." The words still feel like swallowing glass. "Emma was 3 weeks old." Jesus, Stella. "I'm so sorry. Jenna had this whole plan, you know. She was going to go back to work after maternity leave, had lined up this amazing daycare, had college funds and life insurance and all these things I'd never even thought about. And then she was just gone. And suddenly I was responsible for this tiny human, and I had no idea what I was doing." "But you figured it out," Roderick says. "You're taking care of her. You're doing great." "I'm barely keeping my head above water most days." "That's still swimming, Stella. That still counts." The kindness in his voice makes my eyes sting. I blink rapidly, refusing to cry in this nice restaurant. "What about you?" I ask, desperate to change the subject. "You mentioned an ex-wife." His expression shudders slightly. "Divorced 3 years ago. We were married for 5 years, together for 7. She wanted kids, a house in the suburbs, the whole picture. I wanted this." He gestures vaguely. "The company, the work, the constant meetings and late nights. We wanted different things. Do you regret it? Not having kids?" He's quiet for a long moment. "I regret hurting her. I regret that I couldn't be what she needed. But the rest?" He shakes his head. "I think we both knew it wasn't going to work. We just didn't want to admit it." Our food arrives, and the conversation shifts to lighter topics: his disaster of a college roommate, my brief and tragic stint as a barista, the time Emma spit up on a very expensive suit jacket belonging to one of the daycare dads. "He was very polite about it," I say, laughing at the memory. But his face turned this incredible shade of purple. "I don't blame him. Those suits are expensive. That's what you're concerned about? The suit? I'm a CEO. Of course I'm concerned about the suit." I throw a balled-up napkin at him, and he catches it with a grin that makes him look 10 years younger. This is dangerous, I realize. This easy conversation, this comfortable silence, the way he looks at me like I'm saying something fascinating when I'm just talking about baby spit-up. This is how people develop crushes on their bosses. This is how bad decisions get made. "You cannot have a crush on Roderick Lawson," I tell myself firmly. "You absolutely cannot." But when he pays the check, waving off my attempts to split it, and walks me to my car in the parking garage, his hand hovering at the small of my back without quite touching, I know I'm in trouble. "Thank you for dinner," I say, fumbling with my keys. "You didn't have to. I wanted to." He's standing close enough that I can smell his cologne. "Stella, I'm glad you're here. Not just because you're good at your job, but because..." He trails off, seeming to struggle with the words. "Because," I prompt, my heart hammering. He opens his mouth, then seems to think better of it. "Because it's nice having someone to talk to. That's all. That's all." The words feel like a dismissal and a promise all at once. "Good night, Roderick." "Good night, Stella. Drive safe." I watch him walk to his car, a sleek black sedan that probably costs more than I'll make in 5 years, and I try to ignore the disappointment that he didn't say more. Week 5. And everything changes. It's a Tuesday afternoon when Wilson from legal comes rushing into the office, his face pale. "Is Lawson here? I need to talk to him right now. He's in a meeting. This can't wait." Something in Wilson's tone makes me stand up. "What's wrong?" "The Mercer deal. The one that was supposed to close yesterday? Mercer's backing out. They found another company willing to offer more, and they're jumping ship." My stomach drops. I've heard Roderick talking about the Mercer deal for weeks. It's huge, $10 million. A year of work. And the potential for future contracts worth triple that. How much more are they offering? I ask. $2 million. That's insane. Mercer's been negotiating with us for months. I know. But apparently money talks louder than loyalty. Wilson runs a hand over his face. If we lose this deal, we're looking at layoffs. Maybe 20, 30 people. And Lawson's been killing himself to make this work. The meeting room door opens, and Roderick emerges with Thomas Carpenter, the CFO. He's laughing at something Thomas said, completely unaware of the disaster waiting for him. Then he sees Wilson's face, and his smile disappears. What happened? Wilson explains, and I watch Roderick's expression go from confused to angry to carefully blank. When did they notify us? He asks, his voice dangerously quiet. An hour ago. Email just came through. And they think they can just walk away after months of negotiations? After we've already invested. He stops. Jaw tight. Get Van Stone from development on the phone. And Salvador, yes. Salvador from accounting. I don't care about his fantasy football league. I need numbers, and I need them now. He turns to me. Stella, I need you to pull every file we have on Mercer. Every email, every contract draft, every phone log. Everything. On it. I'm already moving toward my computer, and cancel everything on my schedule for the rest of the week. Everything. For the next 6 hours, the office is chaos. Phone calls. Meetings. People rushing in and out with papers and laptops, and increasingly desperate expressions. I work through it all, pulling files, organizing documents, making sure Roderick has exactly what he needs the moment he needs it. Around 9 p.m., Thomas and Wilson finally leave, looking exhausted. Roderick sinks into his chair and puts his head in his hands. I knock on his door frame. Can I get you anything? A time machine would be nice. His voice is muffled. Or a new career, fresh out of both. I can offer terrible office coffee or leftover Italian food from the break room fridge. He looks up, and he looks so tired that my chest aches. How are you still here? Where else would I be? Home. With Emma. Living your life. Emma's fine. Taylor has her overnight, she's got that under control. And my life is currently making sure you don't have a breakdown in your office. I step inside, closing the door behind me. Talk to me. What do you need? I need Mercer to not be a backstabbing. He stops, catching himself. Sorry. Don't apologize. They sound like jerks. That surprises a laugh out of him. They are jerks. But they're also right to take the better offer. That's business. But it's going to cost people their jobs. Yes, the word is heavy. 27 people, to be exact. 27 people with families and mortgages and lives who are going to lose their jobs because I couldn't close this deal. That's not your fault. It's my company. Everything that happens here is my fault. He stands up, starts pacing. I should have seen this coming. Should have secured the contract sooner. Should have. Roderick. I step into his path, forcing him to stop. You did everything right. Mercer changed the rules. That's on them, not you. He looks down at me, and we're standing so close I can see the exhaustion in his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. You really believe that? He asks quietly. I do. For a moment, neither of us moves. We just stand there, inches apart, and the air feels charged with something I don't want to name. Then his phone rings, shattering the moment. He steps back, clearing his throat. I should get that. Yeah, of course. But as I leave his office, I can feel his eyes on me. And I know something just shifted between us. Something that can't be unshifted. At midnight, I'm still at my desk when Roderick emerges from his office with his jacket over his arm. Go home, Stella. You're leaving. I'm taking you home. Your car's been making that grinding noise for weeks, and you shouldn't be driving it this late at night. How do you know about my car? I notice things. Come on. I'm too tired to argue. His car is warm and smells like leather, and his cologne. Soft music plays from the speakers, something classical and soothing. You didn't have to do this, I say, as he pulls out of the parking garage. I wanted to. He glances at me. You stayed all day. You didn't have to do that either. Yes, I did. You needed help. Stella. He says my name like it means something. Thank you. For today. For everything. That's my job. No. He shakes his head. Your job is to manage my schedule and answer my phone. What you did today, that was above and beyond. That was you being indispensable. The word hangs in the air between us. Indispensable. When he pulls up outside my apartment building, neither of us moves to get out. Are you going to be okay? I ask quietly. With the Mercer thing? I don't know. He admits. But I'll figure something out. I always do. You're not alone in this. You know that, right? You have a whole team. I know. He turns to look at me, and his expression is so intense it steals my breath. But right now, in this moment, I'm just glad I have you. My heart stops, restarts, beats triple time. Roderick. Go inside, Stella. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be another long day. I nod, not trusting myself to speak, and climb out of the car. I'm halfway to the building entrance when I hear him call my name. I turn back. He's leaning out the window, and even in the darkness, I can see something vulnerable in his expression. You're indispensable to me too, I say before I can stop myself. Just so you know. Then I turn and run inside before I can do something stupid like go back to that car and kiss him. But as I ride the elevator up to my apartment, I know the truth I've been avoiding for weeks. Operation No Crush has officially failed. I'm falling for Roderick Lawson, and I have no idea what to do about it. Chapter 6. The Realization. Week 6. And I'm losing my mind. It's the little things that are killing me. The way Roderick's hand brushes mine when he hands me files. The way he says my name, Stella, like it's something precious. The way he remembers that I take my coffee with too much cream and not enough sugar, and somehow there's always a cup on my desk at exactly the right temperature. The way he looks at me sometimes, like he's trying to solve an equation that doesn't have an answer. I'm not imagining it. I know I'm not. But I'm also his assistant, his employee. The single mother who accidentally begged him for money 6 weeks ago. This is a disaster waiting to happen. You're staring at your computer like it personally offended you, Nikki says over the phone during my lunch break. I'm in the daycare with Emma, watching her smash sweet potatoes into her hair while I have my daily crisis. I'm not staring, I'm thinking. About your boss? How did you? Because you've mentioned him approximately 47 times in the last 10 minutes. And you get this weird tone in your voice when you say his name. I do not have a weird tone. Roderick says the new filing system is very efficient. Nikki mimics in a breathy voice. Roderick thinks I should take longer lunch breaks. Roderick brought me coffee this morning. I don't sound like that. You absolutely sound like that. Stella, you have a crush on your boss. Emma chooses this moment to fling a handful of sweet potatoes at me. It hits me square in the chest, and I look down at the orange stain spreading across my white blouse. Perfect. Just perfect. See? Even Emma agrees. You need to deal with this. Deal with what? There's nothing to deal with. He's my boss. That's it. Right. And I'm sure he drives all his assistants home at midnight and memorizes their coffee orders. He's just being nice. Stella. Nikki's voice goes serious. I've known you for 6 years. I've seen you date exactly 2 people. And both times you found reasons to sabotage it before it got serious. You're terrified of letting people in. I let Emma in. Emma's a baby. She doesn't have a choice. I'm talking about adults. About men. About letting someone see you and care about you and maybe, just maybe, help carry some of your weight. My throat tightens. I can't afford to mess this up, Nikki. This job, it's everything. It's health insurance for Emma. It's a real salary. It's the first time in my life I've felt like I'm not drowning. If I develop feelings for Roderick and it goes badly, I lose all of that. And if you develop feelings for Roderick and it goes well, I don't have an answer for that. Emma babbles happily, oblivious to my crisis, and smears more sweet potatoes across Catherine's very expensive high chair. I have to go, I tell Nikki. Emma's creating modern art, and I need to stop her before Catherine bans us from daycare. Think about what I said, Stella. You deserve good things. Stop being so scared of them. After I hang up, I spend the rest of my lunch break trying to clean sweet potato out of Emma's hair and off my blouse and out of my own complicated feelings. I fail at all 3. When I get back to my desk, there's a clothing box sitting on my chair. I look around, confused, but the floor is empty. Everyone's at lunch. I open the box carefully, and inside is a white silk blouse. Designer label. Probably costs more than my rent. There's a note in Roderick's handwriting. Figured you might need a backup after the sweet potato incident. Catherine texted me a photo. Emma looked very proud of herself. I stare at the note, then the blouse, then the note again. He bought me a blouse. An expensive blouse. Because my baby threw food at me. And Catherine is apparently texting him photos of Emma. This is normal boss behavior, I tell myself. Totally normal. CEOs buy their assistants designer clothing all the time. This is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is not fine. I change into the new blouse in the bathroom. It fits perfectly, which means he somehow knows my size, and when I emerge, Roderick is at my desk, looking at his phone. It fits, he says, looking up. Then his eyes linger just a second too long, and I watch something flicker across his face before he clears his throat. Good. That's good. You didn't have to do this. Stella. He cuts me off gently. You're wearing the same 3 outfits on rotation because you're spending every extra dollar on Emma. Let me do this. Please. The please undoes me. Thank you, I whisper. He nods, then seems to remember why he came out here. I have a favor to ask. It's a big one, and you can say no. Okay. I have a business dinner tonight. Potential new client could replace the Mercer deal if I can close it. My usual strategy is to wine and dine them. Show them we're professional and personable. But he hesitates. My dinner partner just canceled. Food poisoning. And going alone makes me look desperate. I supply. I was going to say available for a better offer, but desperate works too. He runs a hand through his hair. Would you be willing to come with me? As my colleague, obviously. It's at Le Bernardin at 7. I know it's last minute. And you'd need to find someone to watch Emma. I'll do it. He blinks. You will? Taylor can watch Emma. And I gesture to my new blouse. Apparently I have something to wear now. Relief floods his expression. Thank you. Really. You're saving my life here. That's becoming a pattern, I say, trying to keep my tone light. What is? Me saving your life? Or you saving mine? I'm losing track of who's saving who at this point. He smiles, and it reaches his eyes. Maybe we're just saving each other. The words hang in the air, heavy with meaning neither of us acknowledges. Then his phone rings, and the moment breaks. But I feel it for the rest of the afternoon, that pull between us, that growing awareness that something is building and neither of us knows how to stop it. Or if we want to. Le Bernardin is the kind of restaurant where the forks have more worth than my car. I feel underdressed despite the silk blouse, and I'm hyper-aware of every move I make as the maitre d' leads us to a corner table. Relax, Roderick murmurs, his hand at the small of my back. You look perfect. Perfect. The word makes my skin tingle. The client, a man named Clint Mercer. No relation to the other Mercer, thankfully, who owns a chain of boutique hotels, arrives 10 minutes later with his wife, Marcy. Lawson, good to see you. Clint shakes Roderick's hand firmly, then turns to me with raised eyebrows. And who's this lovely lady? This is Stella Watkins, my executive assistant, Roderick says smoothly. She's been instrumental in putting together the proposal for your project. It's not technically a lie, I did organize all the documents, but the way he says it makes me sound important. Essential. Well, any woman who can keep Roderick Lawson organized must be a miracle worker, Marcy says with a warm smile. How long have you been working together? 6 weeks, I say, and then worry that makes us sound too new, too uncertain. But Marcy just laughs. 6 weeks and you already have that married couple finishing each other's sentences thing going on. I saw it when you walked in. My face flushes. We just work well together. The best partnerships always do, Clint says. And there's something knowing in his tone that makes me nervous. The dinner proceeds with talk of construction timelines and profit margins and architectural plans. I mostly listen, offering small comments when appropriate, trying to look like I belong at this table with these people who order wine that costs more than my weekly salary. Roderick is in his element, confident, articulate, charming in a way that seems effortless. He's selling Clint on the vision, painting pictures with words about luxury and elegance, and returns on investment. But every so often, His foot bumps mine under the table. Or his hand brushes my arm when he reaches for his water glass. Small touches that feel deliberate. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm so desperate for this to mean something that I'm seeing signals that aren't there. So, Stella, Marcy says during a lull in the business talk, do you have children? The question catches me off guard. Yes, a daughter. Emma, she's 8 months old. Oh, how wonderful. Clint and I have 3. They're grown now. But I remember those baby days. She leans forward conspiratorially. It's so hard doing it alone. Is your husband supportive? I'm not married, I say, and I hate how defensive I sound. It's just me and Emma. Stella's an incredible mother, Roderick says, and there's something fierce in his voice. She's raising Emma on her own while excelling at one of the most demanding jobs in the company. I'm lucky to have her. The compliment makes my chest tight. Marcy's smile turns gentle. He's right to appreciate you. Too many men don't see the work that goes into keeping everything running smoothly. She looks at her husband pointedly. Isn't that right, dear? Clint has the grace to look sheepish, guilty as charged. The conversation shifts back to business, and I try to focus, but all I can think about is the way Roderick defended me. The pride in his voice when he called me incredible. This is not a date, I remind myself for the 100th time. This is business. He would say the same thing about any employee, but I don't believe it. After dinner, Clint shakes Roderick's hand and says he'll have his lawyers look over the contract. It's not a definite yes, but it's not a no either. You two make a good team, Clint says, glancing between us. I can tell you trust each other. That matters in business. It does. Roderick agrees, and his eyes find mine. In the car on the way back to the office where I left my car, neither of us speaks for a long moment. Then Roderick says, "Thank you for tonight. You were perfect." I barely said anything. You didn't have to. You were there, and that was enough. He glances at me. Clint was right. We do make a good team. Yeah, I whisper. We do. He pulls into the parking garage and parks next to my car. But neither of us moves to get out. Stella. His voice is quiet, almost hesitant. Can I ask you something? Of course. Do you? He stops, seeming to struggle with the words. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we'd met differently? Not as boss and employee, but just as two people. My heart is thundering so loud I'm sure he can hear it. I don't let myself wonder about that. Why not? Because wondering is dangerous. I force myself to look at him. Because I can't afford to lose this job, and thinking about what ifs leads to bad decisions. Bad decisions, he repeats slowly. Is that what this would be? Bad? I don't know. My voice cracks. I don't know what this is. He reaches out, and his hand cups my cheek. It's the first time he's touched me like this, deliberately, intimately, and I stop breathing. Stella. My phone rings. We both jump, and the moment shatters. I fumble for my phone with shaking hands. It's Taylor. I'm so sorry, I say to Roderick, and I answer. Hello? Stella, don't panic. But Emma has a really high fever again. I gave her the infant Tylenol, but it's been an hour and it's not coming down. It's 103.2. My blood turns to ice. I'm on my way. I'm leaving right now. I'm out of the car before Roderick can respond, my hands shaking so badly I drop my keys twice. Stella, wait. He's out of his car too. Let me drive you. You shouldn't drive like this. I'm fine. You're shaking. You're terrified. Let me help. And because I am terrified, because my hands won't stop shaking and my baby has a fever and I can't breathe, I let him. We break every speed limit getting to my apartment. Taylor meets us at the door with Emma, who's crying weakly and burning up in her little pajamas. I'm so sorry, Taylor says. She was fine 2 hours ago and then, it's not your fault. I take Emma, and she's so hot it scares me. Thank you for calling. Roderick is already on his phone. Yes, this is Roderick Lawson. I need Dr. Younghorn's emergency line. I don't care what time it is. Wake him up. Tell him it's for me. What are you doing? I ask, bouncing Emma even though she's barely responding. Calling my doctor. He makes house calls. Into the phone. Young? I'm sorry to wake you. But I have a friend whose baby has a 103 fever. 8 months old. Yes, we've tried Tylenol. Can you come? A pause. Thank you. I owe you. He hangs up and looks at me. He'll be here in 20 minutes. Roderick, you can't just… I can. And I did. Now sit down before you fall down. I sit because my legs won't hold me anymore. Emma whimpers against my chest, and I'm crying now, unable to stop. She's going to be okay, Roderick says, kneeling in front of me. Young is the best pediatrician in the city. He'll figure out what's wrong. You don't know that. You can't promise that. You're right. I can't. His hands cover mine, warm and steady. But I can promise I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here with you until we know she's okay. Why? The word comes out broken. Why are you doing all this? He looks at me like the answer should be obvious. Because you matter to me, Stella. You and Emma both. You matter. Dr. Horn arrives 17 minutes later with a medical bag and a calm demeanor that immediately makes me feel better. He examines Emma thoroughly while Roderick and I hover nearby like anxious parents. It's an ear infection, doctor, Horn announces finally. Common at this age. The fever will come down once we get antibiotics in her system. I'll write a prescription. There's a 24-hour pharmacy 3 blocks from here. The relief is so intense I nearly collapse. Thank you, I manage. Thank you so much. No problem. Get the prescription filled tonight, give her the first dose, and call my office in the morning to schedule a follow-up. He packs up his bag and nods at Roderick. We're even now for that golf game. We're not even close to even, but I appreciate you saying so. After Dr. Horn leaves, Roderick looks at me. Give me the prescription. I'll go get it filled while you get Emma settled. I can… Stella. His voice is gentle but firm. Let me help. Please. So I do. He's gone for 30 minutes, and when he comes back, he has the antibiotics, more infant Tylenol, and a stuffed bunny. The pharmacist said kids like to have something to cuddle when they're sick, he explains, looking almost embarrassed. I take the bunny. And I can't speak because my throat is too tight. Emma is already asleep in my arms, her fever starting to drop. I give her the first dose of medicine, while Roderick stands in my tiny kitchen, looking completely out of place in his expensive suit. Thank you, I finally say. For everything. For the doctor, for the medicine, for being here. I don't know how to repay. Don't. He crosses the room and sits beside me on the couch. Don't thank me. And don't try to repay me. This is what people do for each other. This is what friends do. Friends, I repeat. Yes, friends. But the way he's looking at me doesn't feel friendly. It feels like something much more complicated. Emma shifts in my arms, and Roderick reaches out instinctively to steady her. His hand covers mine, and we both freeze. I should go, he says quietly. Let you get some rest. Yeah. Okay. But neither of us moves. Stella. My name on his lips sounds like a confession. I need to tell you something. What? He opens his mouth, then seems to think better of it. Never mind. It can wait. Roderick, get some sleep. Call me if Emma gets worse. And don't come in tomorrow, take the day off. Paid, obviously. Then he stands and heads for the door before I can argue. Roderick, he turns back. You matter to me too, I say softly, just so you know. The smile he gives me is equal parts joy and sadness, and then he's gone. I sit there for a long time, holding my sleeping daughter, thinking about the man who just called a doctor at midnight for us. The man who called us friends when we both know that's not what this is. And I finally admit to myself what I've been denying for weeks. I'm not falling for Roderick Lawson. I've already fallen. Chapter 7. The Kiss That Changes Everything. I stay home with Emma on Wednesday like Roderick ordered, even though she's already bouncing back with the resilience only babies seem to have. By Thursday, she's terrorizing the daycare with renewed energy, and I'm back at my desk trying to pretend Tuesday night didn't happen, trying to pretend I didn't basically confess feelings to my boss, trying to pretend he didn't look at me like I hung the moon. Operation Maintain Professional Distance begins immediately. I arrive exactly at 8, not a minute early. I keep my responses to Roderick brief and businesslike. When he asks how Emma is, I say, much better, thank you, and immediately change the subject to his afternoon meeting schedule. By noon, he's noticed. Stella. He's standing in his doorway, arms crossed. What's going on? Nothing. Why? You've called me Mr. Lawson 3 times this morning. That's your name. You haven't called me that in 4 weeks. I focus very hard on my computer screen. I'm just trying to maintain appropriate professional boundaries. Professional boundaries. He says it like it's a foreign concept. Right. Of course. There's something in his tone, hurt, maybe, or disappointment, that makes my chest ache. But this is the right thing to do. This is the smart thing, even if it's killing me. Friday afternoon, Wilson from legal stops by my desk with a knowing smile. You and the boss have a fight? What? No. Why would you think that? Because he's been in a mood all week, and you look like someone kicked your puppy. Whatever happened, you should fix it. The whole floor can feel the tension. There's no tension. Stella. I've worked here for 7 years. I know tension when I see it. He leans against my desk. For what it's worth, I've never seen him like this with anyone. The way he looks at you. Don't. I cut him off. Please don't finish that sentence. Wilson holds up his hands in surrender. Okay. But think about it, that's all I'm saying. After he leaves, I stare at my computer screen without seeing it. The way he looks at you. I know how he looks at me. I've seen it in those unguarded moments when he thinks I'm not paying attention. Like I'm something precious. Something worth keeping. And that terrifies me more than anything else. Because people don't keep me. Jenna didn't mean to leave, but she did. Emma's father took one look at the positive pregnancy test and disappeared. My own parents checked out emotionally years ago, going through the motions but never really present. Everyone leaves, eventually. And Roderick Lawson, brilliant, successful, kind Roderick Lawson will too. Once he realizes I'm just a mess of a girl playing dress-up in borrowed silk blouses, once the novelty wears off, he'll move on. Better to keep the distance now. Better to protect myself before I get hurt. Even if it means watching something beautiful die before it has a chance to bloom. Saturday, I'm at the grocery store with Emma when my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Is this Stella Watkins? Yes. Who's this? This is Spencer from City Auto. Your car's been towed. My stomach drops. What? Why? Failed registration. You're 6 months overdue. The city impounded it this morning from your apartment complex. But I stop, because I know exactly why I'm 6 months overdue. Because registration costs money I don't have, even with my new salary. Because I'm still catching up on 8 months of debt. How much to get it out? And $800 in fees, plus you'll need to show proof of registration. $800. The exact amount Roderick gave me 2 months ago. The universe has a cruel sense of irony. I'll figure it out, I say, and hang up before Spencer can hear me cry. Emma babbles happily in the shopping cart, oblivious to the disaster unfolding. It's fine, I tell her. Even though it's not fine, nothing is fine. We'll take the bus. People take the bus all the time, but the bus doesn't run to the daycare. Which means I'll have to wake up at 5 a.m. to get Emma there on time. Which means my phone rings again. Roderick this time. I stare at his name on the screen. And every instinct screams at me not to answer. Because if I hear his voice right now, I'm going to break. I answer anyway. Hey, Stella. Just my name. But there's concern in his tone. Where are you? Grocery store. Why? Your car was towed. I just got an alert. I put myself down as a contact on your building's tenant portal. You did what? That's not important right now. How much do they want? Roderick, no. How much, Stella? $800. But I'm not taking your money again. I'm coming to get you. Where are you? I can take the bus. Stella Watkins, tell me which grocery store you're at right now. Or I swear I will call every grocery store in a 10-mile radius until I find you. Despite everything, I almost laugh. The Safeway on Madison. Be there in 15 minutes. Don't move. He hangs up before I can argue. He arrives in 12 minutes. Which means he was definitely speeding. I'm waiting outside with Emma and 3 bags of groceries I probably can't afford but bought anyway because that's how grocery shopping works when you're stressed. Roderick pulls up in his black sedan, and the sight of him wearing jeans and a t-shirt instead of a suit does something to my chest. He looks younger, more approachable, devastatingly handsome. "Hey," he says, getting out to take the groceries from me. "You didn't have to come." "Yes, I did." He loads the bags into his trunk with an efficiency that suggests he's done this before. "Car seat in the towed car?" "Yeah, but I can." He's already pulling a brand new car seat out of his back seat. "Got one this morning, just in case." I stare at him. "You bought a car seat. Is that weird?" "Roderick, we're not, you don't need to have a car seat just for emergencies," he finishes. "Like today. Now let me install this, and then I'm taking you both home." I watch him wrestle with the car seat, his jaw tight with concentration, and something inside me cracks wide open. This man bought a car seat just in case I needed help. This man dropped everything on a Saturday morning to rescue me from a grocery store parking lot. This man looks at my daughter like she matters. There. He straightens up, having somehow figured out the complex series of straps and buckles that usually take me 20 minutes. All set. I buckle Emma, and she immediately tries to eat the buckle and then climb into the passenger seat. Roderick doesn't start the car right away. "We need to talk about this," he says quietly. "About my car? I'll figure it out. About us, Stella. About whatever this is." My throat tights. "There is no us. You're my boss. Is that the only reason you're pulling away? Because of the job? Isn't that enough?" "No." He turns to face me fully. "Because if that's the only thing stopping this, whatever this is, then we can figure it out. I can find you another position in the company. Same salary, same benefits. You wouldn't report to me directly." "Stop." The word comes out sharper than I intend. "Just stop, okay? It's not just the job." "Then what is it?" "It's everything." The words burst out before I can stop them. "It's that you're successful and put together, and you probably have a whole walk-in closet full of suits, and I'm me. I'm the girl who texted you by mistake begging for formula money. I'm the single mom with the towed car and the overdue bills and the life that's held together with duct tape and prayers. Stella. And maybe right now you think that's charming or noble or whatever. But eventually you'll realize that it's exhausting. That I'm exhausting. That you could have someone polished and educated and who doesn't come with a baby and a mountain of baggage, and you'll wonder why you ever thought this was a good idea." The car is silent except for Emma's happy babbling in the back seat. Then Roderick says, very quietly, "Are you done?" "I what?" "Are you done telling me what I think and feel?" "Because I'd like a turn." I close my mouth. "I don't think you're charming," he says, and my heart sinks, until he continues. "I think you're brave. I think you're the strongest person I've ever met. You take care of a baby by yourself. You work harder than anyone in my company, and you do it all with grace and humor and this incredible resilience that leaves me in awe. Roderick, I'm not done." His voice is gentle but firm. "You think I could have anyone? Maybe. But I don't want anyone. I want the woman who reorganizes my files and leaves me sarcastic notes about eating lunch. I want the woman who stayed until midnight helping me with the Mercer crisis without being asked. I want the woman who loves her daughter so fiercely that she'd rather take the bus for months than ask for help." Tears are sliding down my cheeks now, and I can't stop them. "I want you, Stella. Just you, duct tape and all." "This is a bad idea," I whisper. "Probably." He reaches out and catches a tear with his thumb. "But I'm willing to risk it if you are." I should say no. I should tell him all the reasons this can't work, all the ways it could go wrong. Instead, I kiss him. I lean across the center console and press my lips to his, and for a moment he's so surprised he doesn't react. Then his hand cups the back of my head, and he's kissing me back, and the world narrows to just this, his mouth on mine, his fingers threading through my hair, the way he tastes like coffee and something uniquely him. It's not a gentle kiss. It's desperate and messy and perfect. Months of tension finally breaking like a dam. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. "Okay," I say shakily. "Okay. Okay what?" "Okay. I'm willing to risk it too." The smile he gives me could power the entire city. Then Emma shrieks from the back seat, apparently displeased at being ignored, and we both laugh. "Should probably get her home," Roderick says, but he doesn't move. He's just looking at me like I'm something wonderful. "Yeah, probably." He starts the car, and we drive toward my apartment in comfortable silence. His hand finds mine on the center console, and I don't pull away. This is happening. This is really happening. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I let myself hope that something good might actually last. He parks outside my building but doesn't immediately get out. I should tell you something, he says, his thumb tracing circles on my palm. Before this goes any further, my stomach tightens. Okay, there's a reason I've been alone for 3 years, since the divorce. You don't have to explain. I want to. He takes a breath. My ex-wife, she wanted me to be someone I'm not. Someone who left work at 5, who wanted kids and PTA meetings and suburban life, and I tried. God, I tried so hard to want those things. But I couldn't change who I am. Roderick. The point is, I'm not good at this. Relationships, vulnerability, letting people in. I work too much. I forget to call. I get obsessed with projects and lose track of everything else. He looks at me, and there's fear in his eyes. I'm probably going to screw this up. Well, I'm definitely going to screw this up. I counter. I have trust issues, and abandonment issues, and a habit of self-sabotaging when things get too good. So we'll be a disaster together. He laughs, surprised. That's your pep talk? I'm not good at pep talks, but I am good at honesty. I squeeze his hand. So here's the honest truth. I'm terrified, but I'm also tired of being afraid of good things. And you're a very good thing, Roderick Lawson. So are you, Stella Watkins. We sit there for another moment, just looking at each other, and then Emma starts fussing. Duty calls. I say reluctantly, I'll get the groceries. He helps me carry everything upstairs, and when we get to my apartment door, he sets the bags down and pulls me close. Dinner tomorrow? He asks. Real dinner, just the two of us? Taylor can watch Emma? That sounds perfect. He kisses me again, softer this time, sweeter, and then he's gone. I stand in my doorway for a full minute, just smiling like an idiot, before Emma's increasingly insistent cries snap me back to reality. That night, after Emma is asleep, I call Nikki. I kissed him, finally. She's shouting, and I have to hold the phone away from my ear. Tell me everything, every detail, don't leave anything out. So I do. I tell her about the grocery store and the car seat and the kiss that felt like coming home. You deserve this, Nikki says when I finish. You deserve someone who sees you and chooses you anyway. What if it doesn't work out? What if it does? It's the same question she asked weeks ago, but this time, I let myself believe in the possibility. What if it does work out? What if this is the beginning of something beautiful? What if I'm allowed to be happy? Sunday morning, I wake up to a text from Roderick. Good morning. Hope Emma slept well. Thinking about you. I read it 5 times, grinning like a teenager. Then I notice there's another text. This one, with a photo attachment. It's a receipt. From the auto impound lot. Your car is at City Auto on 5th Street. I paid the fees and updated your registration. The keys are with the manager. You can pick it up whenever. I stare at the receipt, and my eyes blur with tears. $800. Plus registration fees. He just handled it. I call him immediately. Before you yell at me, he says by way of greeting. Remember that you're allowed to accept help from people who care about you. I wasn't going to yell. Really? Because you sound like you're about to yell. I was going to say thank you. My voice cracks. And that. You're too good to me. Impossible. There's no such thing as too good for you, Stella. We talk for another hour about nothing and everything. He tells me about his disaster of a morning run. Apparently he's not a morning person. I tell him about Emma's new favorite game, throwing her pacifier and then crying because she doesn't have it. It's easy, natural, like we've been doing this for years instead of hours. When we finally hang up, I look at Emma, who's playing with her toes and drooling contentedly. Your mama might have a boyfriend, I tell her. How do you feel about that? She blows a raspberry at me, which I choose to interpret as approval. That night, I get ready for our dinner date with more care than I've taken with anything in months. I borrow a dress from Nikki, navy blue, simple but elegant. I actually do my hair, instead of just throwing it in a ponytail. When Roderick picks me up at 7, the look on his face makes every minute of preparation worth it. You're beautiful, he says. And he sounds almost reverent. You're not so bad yourself. He takes me to a small French restaurant, intimate, romantic, with candles and soft music and a wine list I can't pronounce. We talk about everything. His childhood in Boston, his first business failure, the time he accidentally bid on the wrong property and had to figure out what to do with a warehouse in New Jersey. I tell him about Jenna, about growing up feeling like I was always in her shadow, about the guilt I still carry for not being the kind of person she would have trusted with her daughter. You think she made a mistake? Roderick asks gently. Leaving Emma to you? Sometimes. Yeah, I don't. He reaches across the table and takes my hand. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew her daughter would be loved fiercely and completely. She knew Emma would have a mother who would do anything for her. That's not a mistake, Stella. That's the best gift she could have given. I'm crying again. I've cried more in the past month than I have in years, but these are good tears. Over dessert, he tells me about his sister. Her name is Nikki, he says, then catches himself. Wait, that's your friend's name. It's a common name, right? Anyway, my sister, her name is Elise. She's 2 years older than me and she's complicated. Complicated how? He's quiet for a moment, choosing his words carefully. She's protective. Sometimes overly so. After my divorce, she became convinced that I needed to be shielded from anything that might hurt me. Which sounds nice in theory, but in practice it means she tries to control who I spend time with. She's not going to like me, I say, understanding dawning. She's not going to like anyone I date, he corrects. It's not personal. It's just, she's been through some things. Trauma. And she deals with it by trying to protect the people she loves. What kind of trauma? He shakes his head. That's her story to tell, not mine. But I wanted you to know. Because, he hesitates. Because she's a big part of my life, and if we're going to try this, you'll meet her eventually. And she'll hate me. She'll be suspicious of you. There's a difference. He squeezes my hand. But she'll come around. Eventually, probably. You sound real confident about that. I'm confident about you, he says. The rest we'll figure out. After dinner, he drives me home, and we sit in his car outside my building just like we did the night before. I don't want this night to end, he admits. Me neither. Can I see you tomorrow? And the day after that? And possibly every day for the foreseeable future? I laugh. That might be hard. We do work together. Right, that. He grins. Guess I'll just have to settle for seeing you 8 hours a day at the office, and then taking you to dinner every night. Roderick, too much? No. I lean over and kiss him softly. It's perfect. When I finally go inside, I'm floating. Taylor is waiting on my couch with Emma asleep in her arms and a knowing smile on her face. Good date? The best date. You deserve it, honey. You really do. After Taylor leaves, I hold Emma close and whisper all my hopes and fears into her sleeping form. I think I'm falling in love with him, I confess. Is that crazy? Is it too soon? Emma sighs in her sleep, warm and trusting against my chest. And for the first time since Jenna died, I let myself believe that everything might actually be okay, that I might actually get to keep this, that maybe, just maybe, I'm allowed to be happy. Chapter 8. The transfer. Monday morning, I arrive at work with a smile I can't suppress. Roderick is already at his desk when I get there, unusual, since he's normally arriving at the same time I am, and he looks up when I enter with an expression I can't quite read. Morning, I say, setting down my bag. Morning. He stands and closes his office door behind him, which immediately makes my stomach tighten. We need to talk. 4 words that never mean anything good. Okay. He runs a hand through his hair, the nervous gesture I've come to recognize. I spent all day yesterday thinking about this, about us, about how to make this work, and my voice comes out smaller than I intend, and I think we need to be smart about it. Professional. He pulls out a folder from behind his back. I've arranged a transfer for you. Same salary, same benefits. You'd be working as executive assistant to Thomas Carpenter in the CFO's office. It's a lateral move, no demotion, and it removes the direct reporting relationship between us. I stare at the folder like it's a snake. You're transferring me. It's the right thing to do. You're transferring me. I repeat it because my brain can't process anything else. 24 hours after our first date, you're transferring me to a different department. Stella, listen. No, you listen. Anger is flooding through me now, hot and sharp. You spent all day yesterday thinking about this? About us? And your solution is to ship me off to work for someone else? It's not like that. Then what is it like, Roderick? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're getting rid of me. I'm protecting you. His voice rises, and I've never heard him yell before. Do you know what people will say if they find out we're together? They'll say you slept your way into this job. They'll say I'm abusing my power. They'll say I'm a gold digger who trapped a rich man by having a baby. The words come out bitter. Yeah, I know exactly what they'll say. I've been hearing variations of it my whole life. He flinches. That's not what I meant, isn't it? I'm shaking now. You know what I think? I think you got what you wanted, the kiss, the romance, the whole fantasy of dating the struggling single mom, and now you're realizing it's more complicated than you thought. So you're finding a way out. That's not true. Then prove it. I cross my arms. Tell me you want me to stay working for you. Tell me we can figure this out together, instead of you making decisions about my career, without even consulting me. He's quiet, and that silence is louder than any words. I thought so. I grab my bag. I need to get Emma from daycare. Stella, please, don't. I turn to face him, and I can feel tears threatening, but I refuse to let them fall. Not here. Not now. Don't make this worse by pretending this is for my benefit. You're scared. I get it. But don't you dare make me feel like I'm the problem. You're not the problem. Then what am I, Roderick? Because right now I feel like a complication you're trying to solve. I don't wait for his answer. I walk to the elevator, press the button, and pray it arrives before I break down. It doesn't. The tears come hot and fast, and I'm crying in the hallway like a child when the elevator finally dings open. Wilson is inside. Stella, what's wrong? Nothing. Everything. I don't know. I step inside and punch the button for the third floor repeatedly, as if that will make it move faster. Did something happen with Lawson? I don't want to talk about it. Wilson is quiet for a moment. Then, for what it's worth, he's an idiot if he screwed this up. Despite everything, I almost laugh. Thanks, Wilson. I collect Emma from daycare. She's covered in what appears to be finger paint and applesauce, and Catherine takes one look at my face and asks if I'm okay. Just a rough day, I manage. Those happen. She hands me Emma's bag. But tomorrow will be better. It always is. I wish I could believe her. At home, I call Nikki while Emma demolishes a container of mashed bananas. He did what? Nikki's voice is incredulous. Transferred me. Just decided, without asking, that I should work for someone else. That spineless, she cuts herself off. Okay. Playing devil's advocate here. Is he maybe right? About the optics? Of course he's right about the optics. I'm pacing now, Emma watching me with wide eyes from her high chair. People are going to talk no matter what we do. But the solution isn't to make unilateral decisions about my career. The solution is to talk to me like I'm a partner in this, not a problem to be managed. Did you tell him that? I told him he was trying to get rid of me. Stella. What? That's what it feels like. Nikki sighs. Honey, I love you. But you're doing that thing again. That thing where someone gets close and you assume the worst, and push them away before they can hurt you. That's not what I'm doing, isn't it? He offered you the same job, same pay, just in a different department, to protect both of you. And you immediately assumed he was trying to get rid of you. I sink onto the couch, suddenly exhausted. What if he is, though? What if this is just the beginning? The transfer today, and then next week he'll be too busy for dinner, and then he'll realize that dating someone with a baby is too complicated, and you'll have built up this entire catastrophe in your head based on nothing but your own fear. Nikki's voice is gentle now. Stella, what did he actually say? His exact words? I think back to the conversation, trying to separate my panic from reality. He said he was protecting me, that people would say I slept my way into the job. And is he wrong? No, but, so he's trying to protect your reputation and your career, and you're interpreting that as rejection. You weren't there, Nikki. You didn't see his face. What did you see? I close my eyes, forcing myself to really remember. He looked scared and tired, like he'd been up all night thinking about it. Sounds like someone who cares about you and doesn't want to screw this up, or someone who's looking for an exit. Stella Watkins, you are exhausting sometimes, you know that? Despite everything, I laugh weakly. I've been told, call him. Apologize for assuming the worst. Have an actual conversation like adults. What if he doesn't want to hear it? Then at least you'll know. But I'm betting he's sitting in his apartment right now feeling just as miserable as you are. After we hang up, I stare at my phone for a long time. Emma has finished her bananas and is now trying to feed them to her stuffed bunny, the one Roderick brought when she was sick. What do you think? I ask her. Should Mama call the nice man who bought you antibiotics and a bunny? She babbles something that sounds vaguely affirmative. I pull up his contact, my thumb hovering over the call button. Then I see a text come through. I'm sorry. I handled that badly. Can we talk, please? Before I can respond, another text arrives. I understand if you don't want to see me. But I need you to know. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I'm trying to protect you. There's a difference. And then, a moment later, I'm falling in love with you, Stella. That's what scares me. Because I don't want to be the reason your life gets harder. I read that last text 3 times, my heart hammering. I'm falling in love with you. My hands are shaking as I type. Can you come over? We need to talk in person. His response is immediate. I'm already outside. I've been sitting in my car for 20 minutes, trying to work up the courage to knock. I go to the window and look down. Sure enough, his black sedan is parked on the street. Come up. 3rd floor. Apartment 3B. I watch him get out of the car and disappear into the building. Then I'm scrambling to make the apartment presentable, which is impossible because it's a studio apartment with a baby, but I try anyway. The knock comes 2 minutes later. I open the door, and we just look at each other. He's still in his work clothes, but his tie is loosened and his hair is disheveled like he's been running his hands through it. He looks wrecked. Hi, he says quietly. Hi, can I come in? I step aside, and he enters my tiny apartment. It's the first time he's seen it in daylight, and I watch him take in the peeling paint, the ancient radiator, the way everything is cramped and worn. It's not much, I say defensively. It's yours. He says it like that matters, like it's enough. Emma chooses that moment to screech from her high chair, and Roderick's expression softens. Hey, Emma. He walks over and crouches down to her level. Sorry for making your mom cry. She reaches for his tie, and he lets her grab it, even though she immediately tries to put it in her mouth. We should talk, I say. Yeah. He gently extracts his tie from Emma's grip and stands. But first, I need to say something. Okay, I screwed up. I made a decision about your career without consulting you, and that was wrong. You're right, I was treating you like a problem to solve instead of a partner. He takes a breath. I was scared. I am scared. Because I meant what I said in that text. I'm falling in love with you, and I don't know how to do this. How to be with someone when my life is so demanding and complicated. How to be good for you when I work 80-hour weeks and forget to eat lunch. Roderick. But I want to try. I want to figure it out. With you, not for you. He steps closer. So here's what I'm proposing. Forget the transfer. You stay as my assistant. Because you're the best assistant I've ever had, and I'm a selfish bastard who doesn't want to lose you. We'll deal with the gossip and the judgment together. And if it gets to be too much, if you decide you want the transfer, we'll do it then. But it'll be your choice, not mine. I'm crying again, and I'm so tired of crying. You really mean that? Every word. I'm sorry too, I say. For assuming you were trying to get rid of me. For not giving you the benefit of the doubt. My voice breaks. Everyone leaves eventually, and I thought you were just getting a head start. His hands cup my face, gentle and warm. I'm not leaving, Stella. I'm standing right here, terrified out of my mind, but here. Because you're worth being terrified for. That's possibly the worst romantic declaration I've ever heard. He laughs, and it's watery. I told you I'm bad at this. You're not that bad. I rise on my toes and kiss him, soft and sweet. But we need to work on your communication skills. Deal. As long as you work on not catastrophizing every time something goes wrong. That's fair. We stand there, foreheads pressed together, just breathing each other in. Emma shrieks again, displeased at being ignored, and we both laugh. She's very demanding, Roderick observes. Wonder where she gets that from. Hey. But he's smiling. He stays for dinner, which is just mac and cheese from a box because that's all I have energy to make. He doesn't complain. He sits on my couch that's definitely seen better days, eating cheap pasta from a chipped bowl, and he looks happier than I've ever seen him. This is nice, he says. Sitting in my crappy apartment eating mediocre food, being with you. Being somewhere that isn't the office or my empty house. Just being. After dinner, we give Emma a bath together. Roderick has no idea what he's doing. He uses too much soap and gets water everywhere, but he's trying, and that matters more than competence. She's perfect, he says, watching Emma splash happily. You've done such a good job with her. Stella. I'm just winging it most of the time. Isn't that what all parents do? You sound like you've thought about this. He's quiet for a moment. My ex-wife wanted kids. I told her I wasn't ready, that I needed to focus on building the company first. And then years passed, and I was still saying not yet, and eventually she realized I meant never. He looks at me. I thought I didn't want children, but watching you with Emma, seeing how you love her, maybe I just didn't want them with the wrong person. My heart does something complicated in my chest. Roderick. I'm not saying I mean, it's too soon to. He fumbles the words, looking endearingly flustered. I just mean that I'm open to it. To the idea. If we make it that far. I finish gently. Yeah. I reach over and take his hand, soapy and wet. One day at a time, okay? Let's not plan the whole future when we're still figuring out today. He nods, relieved. One day at a time. After Emma is asleep, Roderick and I curl up on my couch. He has to work early tomorrow, and I should probably let him go, but neither of us moves. Tell me about your sister, I say. The one who's going to hate me. He winces. Elise doesn't hate people. She's just protective. You said she went through trauma. Yeah. He's quiet for a long moment. It was about 15 years ago. She was attacked by someone she thought she could trust. An alpha. He stops abruptly. Sorry. I mean someone in a position of power. Someone who should have protected her. Jesus, Roderick. She survived. Got therapy, rebuilt her life. But it changed her. Made her wary of letting people close. Especially to me. She thinks everyone has an agenda. Everyone's going to hurt the people she loves. And she's going to think I have an agenda. Probably. He pulls me closer. But give her time. Once she sees how happy you make me, she'll come around. You really think so? I have to believe so. Because I'm not giving you up for anyone. Not even Elise. The certainty in his voice makes me brave enough to say, I'm falling in love with you too. Just so you know. He goes very still. Yeah? Yeah. It's terrifying and probably a terrible idea, but yeah. He kisses me then, deep and slow, and I forget about the transfer and the gossip and the sister who won't approve. All that matters is this moment, this man, this fragile, beautiful thing we're building together. When he finally leaves around midnight, I stand in my doorway and watch him go. Same time tomorrow? He asks from the hallway. Same time tomorrow. I agree, and for the first time since this all started, I let myself believe we might actually make it. The next morning, I arrive at work to find a note on my desk. You're still the best assistant I've ever had. Thank you for giving me another chance. R. Underneath is a coffee perfect temperature, too much cream, not enough sugar, and a chocolate croissant. I look toward his office, and he's watching me through the glass wall, a small smile on his face. I raise the coffee in a toast, and his smile widens. Wilson walks by and sees the exchange. You two are disgustingly cute, you know that? Shut up, Wilson. Just saying. The whole floor's placing bets on when you'll make it official. There's nothing to make official. Stella. He gives me a look. Everyone knows. And for what it's worth, we're all rooting for you. After he leaves, I sit at my desk, sipping my perfect coffee, and I think about fear and risk and the choice to be brave. Maybe Roderick and I will work out. Maybe we won't, but we're going to try. And that has to be enough. Chapter 9, The Sister. 3 weeks pass, in a blur of stolen moments and careful discretion. We're not hiding exactly Wilson was right. Everyone knows, but we're not advertising either. Professional at work, personal after hours. It's a delicate balance. And somehow, we're managing it. Until Friday afternoon when everything falls apart. I'm organizing files when Roderick's office door opens and a woman walks out that I've never seen before. She's tall, elegant, with dark hair cut in a sharp bob and eyes that could freeze fire. She's wearing a designer pantsuit that probably costs more than my car, and she moves with the kind of confidence that comes from never having been told no. She looks at me like I'm something stuck to the bottom of her shoe. "So you're the assistant," she says. Not a question, an accusation. "Stella Watkins." I stand and extend my hand, even though every instinct tells me this woman won't shake it. "You must be Elise Lawson." She ignores my hand. "Roderick's sister." Oh no. Roderick appears in his doorway, and I can see the tension in his shoulders. "Elise, I told you I'd introduce you properly. I'm introducing myself." She turns back to me, and her smile is all sharp edges. "My brother tells me you have a child." "Yes, Emma. She's 8 months old." "And the father?" "Elise." Roderick's voice is sharp. "That's inappropriate." "Besides timbre hair. That's inappropriate. It's a fair question. I'm simply trying to understand the situation." Her eyes never leave my face. "You're a single mother working as my brother's assistant. That must be challenging." The implication hangs in the air like poison. "It is challenging," I say carefully. "But I manage." "I'm sure you do." She picks up a framed photo from my desk, Emma's 3-month picture. She's adorable. Children are such a responsibility, aren't they? So expensive. Healthcare, daycare, formula, diapers. It must be difficult on an assistant's salary. Elise. Roderick steps forward. "That's enough. I'm just having a conversation with your employee, Roderick." "Surely that's allowed." "Not when you're interrogating her." Elise sets down the photo with exaggerated care. "I'm not interrogating anyone. I'm simply concerned about my brothers." Associations. The word associations lands like a slap. "If you have concerns, you can address them with me," Roderick says, his jaw tight. "Not with Stella." "Oh, I plan to." She picks up her purse. "Lunch. Today. 1 o'clock. Don't be late." Then she walks to the elevator without another glance at me. The moment the doors close, I sink into my chair. "I'm so sorry," Roderick says immediately. "She had no right. She thinks I'm using you." My voice sounds hollow. "For money. For Emma. Stella. She's not entirely wrong, is she?" I look up at him. "You've paid for my car, bought Emma's medicine, given me this job, because I wanted to, because I care about you, not because you asked or manipulated or—" He stops, running a hand through his hair. "This is exactly what Elise does. She gets in your head, makes you doubt everything. Maybe she's just seeing things clearly. Or maybe she's projecting her own trauma onto every situation." He crouches beside my chair. "Stella, look at me." I do, reluctantly. "You are not using me. You are not a gold digger, or whatever else Elise implied. You're the woman I'm falling in love with. And my sister is going to have to accept that. What if she doesn't? Then that's her problem, not ours." But I can see the worry in his eyes, and I know it's not that simple. Roderick leaves for lunch with Elise at 12:45, and I spend the next 2 hours trying not to imagine all the ways his sister is convincing him to break up with me. She has a baby. She's a liability. She's only with you for the money. By 3 o'clock, I'm convinced he's going to come back and end things. By 3:30, I'm mentally composing my resignation letter. By 4, I'm Googling other jobs because clearly I'm about to be unemployed. Roderick returns at 4:15 looking like he's been through a war. "Hey," I say carefully. "Hey." He closes his office door behind him and leans against it. That was brutal. My stomach drops. What did she say? Every terrible thing you're imagining and then some. He walks to his desk and sits heavily. She thinks you're after my money. She thinks you got pregnant on purpose to trap someone rich, not me specifically, just anyone. She thinks Emma is a pawn in some elaborate scheme. Each word is a knife. And what do you think? I think my sister is letting her trauma control her life. He looks at me, and his expression is exhausted but certain. I told her she's wrong. I told her you're the most genuine person I've ever met, that you tried to pay me back for the formula money, that you've never asked me for anything. What did she say? That I'm being naive, that I'm thinking with he stops. She wasn't kind about it. I close my eyes. Roderick, maybe she's right. Maybe this is too complicated. Don't. He stands and crosses to my desk. Don't let her win. This isn't about winning. Yes, it is. She's trying to break us up by making you doubt yourself, by making you think you're not worth fighting for. He takes my hand. But you are, Stella. You are absolutely worth fighting for. Even if it means fighting your own sister. Even then. I want to believe him. I want to be brave enough to fight for this. But the doubt Elise planted is growing roots. That weekend, things feel different. Roderick is attentive and sweet. Taking me and Emma to the park. Buying ice cream. Acting like everything is normal. But I can feel him pulling away. Small things, he checks his phone more often. He's distracted during conversations. He leaves earlier than usual on Sunday night. Everything okay? I ask as he's putting on his jacket. Yeah. Just tired. Long week. Roderick. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? He kisses me quickly and leaves before I can push further. After he's gone, I sit on my couch with Emma and try not to panic. He's going to leave. I tell her. Elise got in his head. And now he's going to realize she's right. Emma just gums her teething ring and looks at me with Jenna's eyes. Your aunt would know what to do, I whisper. She always knew what to do. But Jenna's not here, and I'm alone with a baby and a relationship that's crumbling. Monday morning, Roderick is late to work. He's never late. When he finally arrives at 9:30, he looks like he hasn't slept. Sorry, he says, barely looking at me. Rough night. Do you want to talk about it? Not really. Just need to get through today. He disappears into his office and closes the door. I sit at my desk, staring at that closed door, and I know, this is the beginning of the end. By Wednesday, we've barely spoken beyond work necessities. He's professional and distant. And it feels like those first weeks before everything changed, except worse because now I know what I'm losing. Wilson notices. You two fighting again? I don't know. I stare at my computer screen without seeing it. Maybe. Want me to beat some sense into him? Wilson. You're a lawyer. Not a fighter. I took a self-defense class once. I know 3 moves. Despite everything, I laugh. Thanks. But I think this is beyond self-defense. Thursday afternoon, I'm picking Emma up from daycare when Catherine mentions that Elise came by. My blood runs cold. What? Miss Lawson. Roderick's sister. She stopped in yesterday. Said she wanted to see the facilities since her brother speaks so highly of them. Catherine frowns. She asked a lot of questions about Emma, her schedule, her routines, whether her father is involved. It felt intrusive. What did you tell her? Nothing beyond what's in Emma's enrollment file. But Stella. She looks concerned. Be careful with that woman. She has the kind of smile that doesn't reach her eyes. That night, I call Roderick. He doesn't answer. I text, your sister came to Emma's daycare. We need to talk. No response. I call again. Voicemail. Please, Roderick. Talk to me. Nothing. By Friday, I'm ready to scream. Roderick has been in his office all week with the door closed. He communicates through email. When we do interact, he's polite and professional and a million miles away. At noon, I've had enough. I walk into his office without knocking and close the door behind me. We need to talk. He looks up from his computer, and there are dark circles under his eyes. Stella. I'm in the middle of, I don't care, we're talking now. He sits back, and for a moment I think he's going to argue. Then he just nods tiredly. Okay, your sister went to Emma's daycare. His expression darkens. She what? Catherine said she came by, asked a bunch of questions about Emma and her father and our situation. I cross my arms. What is she trying to do, Roderick? Build a case against me? I don't know. He runs his hands over his face. Probably. That's what Elise does when she feels threatened. Threatened by what? By me? By anyone who gets close to me. He stands and starts pacing. After what happened to her, she became convinced that everyone has ulterior motives, that people are only nice because they want something. So she's going to sabotage every relationship you try to have? She's tried before. With my ex-wife, with friends, with business partners. He stops pacing. But she's never been this aggressive. Never gone after someone's child. Because I'm the real threat, I say quietly. Because this time you're actually serious. He looks at me. And there's something broken in his expression. Yes. We stand there in heavy silence. Then I say what we've both been avoiding. She's going to make you choose. Me or her. She already has. My heart stops. What? Tuesday night. She came to my house and gave me an ultimatum. End things with you, or she cuts me out of her life completely. He laughs, but there's no humor in it. She said if I care about you at all, I'll let you go before she destroys your reputation. Before she makes sure everyone knows you're just after my money. Can she do that? Elise has connections everywhere. Lawyers, journalists, people who owe her favors. If she wants to ruin you, she can. Maybe not completely, but enough to make your life hell. He sinks back into his chair. She's not bluffing, Stella. She'll do it. I've seen her destroy people who crossed her. The room feels too small, too hot. So what are you saying? I'm saying, his voice breaks. I'm saying I don't know what to do. I love my sister. She's the only family I have. But I'm falling in love with you too, and the thought of losing you. You've been pulling away all week. Because I'm trying to figure out how to protect you both. Trying to find a solution where nobody gets hurt. Roderick. I sit in the chair across from him. There is no solution where nobody gets hurt, you know that. I know. He looks at me, and his eyes are red. I'm so sorry, Stella. For getting you into this. For letting you fall for me when I knew my sister was going to be a problem. Don't apologize for that. Apologize for shutting me out instead of talking to me. You're right. I should have told you sooner. I should have. He stops. I've been a coward. No. You've been scared. There's a difference. I lean forward. But we need to make a decision. Together. Not you alone in your office. Not me catastrophizing at home. Together. He's quiet for a long moment. Then, what do you want me to do? I want you to stand up to your sister. I want you to tell her that she doesn't get to control your life out of fear. And if she follows through on her threats, if she goes after you, then we'll deal with it. Together. Stella, you don't understand what she's capable of. Then explain it to me. My voice rises. Stop protecting me from information I need to make decisions about my own life. Tell me everything. What exactly did she threaten? He takes a deep breath. She said she'd contact the media. Tell them you're a gold digger who trapped me with a baby. She'd make sure the story gets picked up. That your face is plastered everywhere. She'd hire investigators to dig into your past, find anything embarrassing or questionable. She'd make it impossible for you to get another job in this city. Jesus. And that's just the beginning. She'd go after your custody of Emma, claim you're an unfit mother who's using your child to extort money from wealthy men. She'd make your life a living hell until you had no choice but to leave. The words hang in the air like a death sentence. She really said all that? I ask quietly. Every word. And she meant it. He looks broken. So yes, I've been pulling away, because I'm trying to figure out how to protect you from my own sister. I stand up and walk to the window, looking out at the city below. All those people living their lives, dealing with their own problems. None of them knowing that right here, right now, I'm making a choice that could ruin everything. I'm not going to be the reason you lose your sister, I say finally. Stella, let me finish. I turn to face him. I'm not going to be that person. The one who makes you choose between family and love. Because that's not love, that's manipulation. And I love you too much to do that to you. His face crumbles. Don't do this. I have to. Tears are streaming down my face now. Because if we keep going, someone is going to get destroyed. Maybe me, maybe you, maybe both of us. And Emma, my voice breaks. Emma doesn't deserve to have her mother's face all over the media as a gold digger. She doesn't deserve investigators digging through our lives. We can fight this. With what, Roderick? Hope? Love? I shake my head. Your sister has money and power and connections. I have a baby and a studio apartment. This isn't a fair fight. 1. So you're just giving up? I'm being realistic. I wipe my eyes. I'm thinking about what's best for Emma. And right now, what's best is to walk away before this gets ugly. He stands and crosses to me, his hands framing my face. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you either. But sometimes love isn't enough. That's bullshit. Love is everything. Love is what makes this hurt so much. I step back, out of his reach. I'm going to resign. Give you 2 weeks' notice. Keep things professional. Thomas Carpenter's office might still need an assistant. I'll check with Wilson. Stella, please. This is the right thing to do, Roderick. You know it is. He stares at me, and I watch him realize I'm serious. That I'm actually walking away. What if I choose you anyway? He asks desperately. What if I tell Elise to go to hell and deal with the consequences? Then you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But someday you'll look back and hate me for making you lose your sister, for being the reason your family fell apart. I grab my bag. I need to get Emma. Stella. Goodbye, Roderick. I walk out of his office, past my desk, to the elevator. I don't let myself cry until I'm in my car. Then I sob so hard I can barely breathe. Grief and rage and heartbreak pouring out in ugly, gasping waves. I love him. God, I love him so much. But loving someone isn't always enough to make it work. Sometimes love means letting go, even when it destroys you. Chapter 10. The elevator. I don't resign. Not immediately, anyway. Because the moment I get home with Emma, I realize that quitting means losing my health insurance. Means losing the daycare. Means going back to cleaning offices at night and juggling 3 jobs and barely surviving. And Emma deserves better than that. So Monday morning, I show up at work with a plan. Keep my head down, do my job, avoid Roderick as much as possible until I can find something else. It works for exactly 3 hours. At 11, Roderick emerges from his office looking worse than he did on Friday. He's wearing the same suit from last week, I know, because there's a coffee stain on the sleeve and his hair looks like he's been running his hands through it all weekend. Stella. His voice is rough. Can we please talk? I have work to do. Please. I keep typing, not looking at him. Is there a business matter you need to discuss? Don't do this. Don't shut me out. I'm not shutting you out. I'm maintaining professional boundaries. I finally look up, and I make sure my expression is neutral. Was there something you needed, Mr. Lawson? He flinches at the formal address. I need you to listen to me. I listened on Friday. I made my decision. Without consulting me. Without letting me. You had a week to figure this out. I interrupt. A week where you pulled away and avoided me and made me feel like I was the problem. So yes, I made a decision. I'm protecting myself and my daughter. By walking away from something real. By walking away from something that's going to destroy us both. I turn back to my computer. Now if you'll excuse me, I have expense reports to organize. He stands there for a long moment. And I can feel him staring at me. Then, quietly, I talk to Elise. My fingers freeze on the keyboard. I told her she doesn't get to control my life. That I'm in love with you, and if she can't accept that, then she can leave. His voice cracks. She left. I close my eyes. Roderick. She walked out of my house Saturday night and told me not to contact her until I came to my senses. So there. I chose. I chose you, Stella. I chose us. You shouldn't have done that. Why not? Because now you're going to resent me. I spin around to face him. Now every time you miss your sister or something reminds you of her, you're going to remember that I'm the reason she's gone. And eventually, that resentment is going to turn into hate, and that's not going to happen. You don't know that. I know that I love you. He's standing right in front of my desk now. I know that I've spent the worst weekend of my life imagining losing you. And I'm not doing it. I'm not letting Elisa's fear destroy something good. But she's your sister, and she's wrong. His voice is firm. She's letting her trauma control her decisions. And I can't enable that anymore. Maybe losing me will be the wake-up call she needs to get help. Real help. Not just dealing with the aftermath, but dealing with the root cause. I want to believe him. I want to believe this can work, but I've been burned too many times. I need time, I say finally. I need to think about this without you standing here looking at me like that. Like what? Like I'm something you can't live without. Because you are. He says it simply, like it's fact. You are something I can't live without, Stella. Before I can respond, his phone rings. He ignores it. It rings again. Answer it, I say. It's not important. Answer your phone, Roderick. He pulls it out with a frustrated sigh, glances at the screen, and his expression changes. It's the Mercer Hotel account. The new one. Not the I have to take this. Take it. He disappears into his office, and I hear his voice shift into professional mode. Clint, good to hear from you. How are Marcy and the kids? I sit at my desk, staring at nothing, trying to process everything. He chose me. He actually chose me over his sister, and I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse. The next 3 weeks are torture. Roderick tries God, he tries so hard. He brings me coffee, leaves little notes on my desk, asks about Emma constantly, but I keep him at arm's length. Professional and polite, and distant. You're killing him, Wilson says one afternoon. You know that, right? I'm protecting him. From what? Happiness? From making a mistake he'll regret. Wilson gives me a long look. You know what your problem is, Stella? I'm sure you're going to tell me. You don't think you deserve good things. So when something good happens, you find a way to sabotage it before it can hurt you. That's not. It is. And you know it is. He leans against my desk. Lawson chose you. He stood up to his terrifying sister and chose you. And instead of accepting that gift, you're pushing him away because you're scared. Of course I'm scared. Do you know what his sister threatened to do to me? To Emma? And did she do any of it? I'm quiet because the answer is no. I haven't heard from Elise in 3 weeks. No media stories, no investigators, nothing. Maybe she's just biding her time. Or maybe she's gone, Wilson says. Maybe Lawson really did stand up to her, and she actually backed off. Did you consider that possibility? Why are you defending him? Because I've worked with him for 7 years, and I've never seen him like this. He's miserable, Stella. He barely sleeps. He's losing weight. And yesterday I caught him staring at your empty desk for 10 minutes straight. Wilson's voice softens. Whatever you're protecting him from, it's not worse than what you're doing to him now. After Wilson leaves, I sit at my desk and really think about what he said. Maybe I am sabotaging this. Maybe I am so terrified of getting hurt that I'm hurting both of us in the process. But what if I let my guard down and everything falls apart? What if Elise comes back, or Roderick realizes I'm not worth the trouble? Or, my phone buzzes with a text from Nikki. Coffee tomorrow? You sound miserable on the phone and I'm worried about you. I type back, can't. Too much work. Her response is immediate. Liar. You're avoiding everyone because you're scared. Stop being scared and live your life. I stare at the text for a long time. Then I look toward Roderick's office. I can see him through the glass. On the phone, gesturing with one hand while scribbling notes with the other. He looks tired, stressed, sad. Because of me, I pull up a blank document and start typing my resignation letter. Thursday afternoon, I'm printing my resignation when disaster strikes. Literally. I'm in the elevator heading down to grab lunch when it jolts violently and stops. The lights flicker once, twice, then go out completely. Emergency lights click on, bathing everything in eerie red. This is not happening, I mutter, jabbing the emergency call button. Not today. Not right now. Nothing happens. I press it again. And again. Static crackles from the speaker. Then, experiencing technical difficulties, all elevators temporarily. The speaker dies. I'm trapped. For the first minute, I'm fine. These things happen. Someone will fix it. By minute 5, I'm getting nervous. I hate small spaces. Always have. By minute 10, the walls are closing in and I can't breathe properly. I pull out my phone. No signal. I'm between floors in a metal box. Okay, Stella, don't panic. Panicking is bad. I'm definitely panicking. I sink to the floor and pull my knees to my chest, trying to remember the breathing exercises Jenna taught me when I used to have panic attacks in high school. In for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Out for 8. In for 4. The air feels too thin. Hold for 7. Why is it so hot? Out for 8. I can't do this. My phone buzzes somehow, a single text getting through. Where are you? R. I type back with shaking hands. Elevator stuck. Between floors. Can't breathe. The response comes immediately. Stay calm. I'm coming. 2 minutes. But 2 minutes feels like eternity when you're trapped in a metal coffin with walls that keep shrinking. I can hear voices above me now, muffled and distant, then clearer. Stella. Can you hear me? Roderick. I'm here. My voice comes out strangled. I'm here. I can't. The walls. Listen to me. His voice is calm, steady, cutting through my panic. You're okay. You're safe. The elevator is secure. It's not going to fall. It's too small. I know. I know you hate small spaces. But I'm right here, okay? Right above you. I'm not leaving. How did you know I hate small spaces? You always take the stairs when you can. You stand near the door in elevators. I notice things about you, Stella. I notice everything. Despite the panic, despite everything, his words warm something in my chest. I was going to quit. I say suddenly. I wrote my resignation letter today. Silence from above. Then. Were you going to tell me? I don't know. Probably not. I'm a coward. You're not a coward. You're scared. There's a difference. I laugh. And it comes out wet. You said that to me once before. Because it's true. There's a bang, like he hit the elevator shaft. They're working on getting you out, but it's going to take 30 minutes, maybe 40. Can you hold on that long? Do I have a choice? Not really. But it helps to have a goal. We're quiet for a moment. And I focus on his voice above me. The knowledge that he's there. Roderick? Yeah? I'm sorry. For pushing you away. For making this harder than it needed to be. Stella. I was scared. I am scared. Not of you, but of losing you. Of letting myself believe this could work and then having it fall apart. My voice breaks. Everyone leaves eventually. And I thought if I pushed you away first, at least I'd have some control over it. I'm not leaving. His voice is fierce. I'm standing on top of an elevator shaft in a $3,000 suit that's definitely getting ruined, and I'm not moving until you're safe. Does that sound like someone who's going to leave? Your suit costs $3,000? Focus, Stella. Sorry. Panic makes me latch onto weird details. I know. You do the same thing when Emma has a fever. You start reorganizing things that don't need organizing. You really do notice everything. Told you. There's a pause. I miss you. These last 3 weeks have been hell. I miss you too. I'm crying now, hot tears sliding down my face. I miss you so much it hurts. Then stop pushing me away. Stop deciding what's best for me. Let me choose you, Stella. Let me love you. What about Elise? What about her? She's an adult who's making her own choices. Bad choices, but choices. I can't live my life based on her fears. But you love her. I do. And I hope someday she gets the help she needs and we can rebuild our relationship. But that's on her timeline, not mine. And I'm not putting my life on hold waiting for her to come around. There's a mechanical grinding sound. And suddenly the elevator lurches. I scream. Stella! What happened? It moved. The elevator moved. That's good. They're getting you out. The elevator inches upward, groaning and creaking, and I'm pressed against the back wall, eyes squeezed shut, certain we're about to plummet. Then it stops. The doors grind open halfway, and there's Roderick, covered in grime, his expensive suit absolutely ruined, reaching for me. Come on, take my hand. I look at his outstretched hand, and I think about trust, about fear, about the choice to be brave. I take his hand. He pulls me through the opening, and I collapse against him in the hallway. His arms come around me immediately, tight and secure. I've got you, he murmurs into my hair. I've got you. We're surrounded by maintenance workers and building security, but I don't care. I'm clinging to him like he's the only solid thing in the universe. Don't quit, he says quietly. Please don't quit. I won't. And don't push me away. I'll try. That's all I ask. He pulls back just enough to look at me. Are you okay? No, but I will be. Then, because we're surrounded by witnesses and I've been trapped in an elevator for 45 minutes, and I almost died, not really, but it felt like it, I kiss him. I kiss him right there in the hallway with maintenance workers clapping and security guards whistling. I kiss him like I mean it. Like I'm choosing him, like I'm done being scared. When we finally break apart, he's smiling. Was that a public declaration? I think it was. Good. He kisses me again. Softer this time. Because I'm done hiding how I feel about you. Wilson appears around the corner, takes one look at us, and grins. Finally. Do you know how long we've been waiting for this? How long? I ask. Months. We started a betting pool when you first started. I said by week 8, and I was only off by 1 week. So technically I won. You bet on us? The whole office did. It was riveting entertainment. He looks at Roderick. By the way, your sister is here. All the warmth drains from my body. Roderick's arms tighten around me. What? She showed up about 10 minutes ago. She's in the lobby. Says she needs to talk to you. Wilson's expression turned serious. Security called up. Wanted to know if they should let her come up. Roderick looks at me. What do you want to do? It's your sister. You should see her. Not without you. Whatever she has to say, she can say it to both of us. I take a deep breath, trying to channel some of the bravery I found in that elevator. Okay, together. Together, he agrees. We take the stairs down to the lobby. I'm never getting in an elevator again, and there she is. Elise Lawson, looking immaculate as always, standing by the security desk like she owns the place. When she sees us, sees me specifically, her expression shifts to something I can't quite read. Roderick. Her voice is cold. We need to talk. Then talk, he says. Right here. In front of Stella. This is a private family matter. Stella is part of my life. Whatever you have to say to me, you can say in front of her. Elise's jaw tightens. She looks at me, and I force myself to meet her gaze. Fine. She sets her purse on the security desk with deliberate care. I've been speaking with someone, a professional, about what happened. Roderick goes very still. You're in therapy? Don't sound so shocked. It's not unheard of. She looks uncomfortable, like admitting this is physically painful. She suggested that perhaps I've been projecting my fears onto situations that don't warrant them. Elise, I'm not finished. She takes a breath. I don't like you, she says, looking directly at me. I don't trust easily. And I especially don't trust people who come into my brother's life when he's vulnerable. But, she pauses. But I heard what happened. The elevator. How Roderick dropped everything and was ready to tear apart the building to get you out. Literally, Wilson calls from where he's been shamelessly eavesdropping. We had to stop him from prying open the elevator shaft with a crowbar. Elise's lips twitch, almost like she wants to smile. Almost. My brother doesn't do that for people. He doesn't lose control. He doesn't get emotional. But for you... She looks at Roderick. He was terrified. I've never seen him like that. How did you know? Roderick starts. Wilson texted me. Said there was an emergency and I should come. She glares at Wilson, who waves cheerfully. I came because despite everything, I do love you, Roderick. Even when I'm being, what did your therapist say? Irrationally controlling due to unresolved trauma. Those were her exact words? Close enough. Elise turns back to me. I'm not going to apologize. Not yet. Because I'm still not convinced this isn't a mistake. But I'm willing to observe. From a distance. Without threats, or investigations, or attempts to sabotage. It's possibly the worst almost apology I've ever heard. It's also more than I expected. Thank you, I say carefully. Don't thank me. I'm doing this for Roderick, not you. But there's less venom in her voice than before. And if you hurt him, if I hurt him, you have my permission to say, I told you so as loudly and as often as you want. I interrupt. But I'm not going to hurt him. I'm going to love him. even when it's scary, even when people judge us, even when it's hard. Elise studies me for a long moment. Then, very quietly, he's all I have. I know. And I do understand. I understand loving someone so much that the thought of losing them makes you irrational. But you're not going to lose him. You're just going to have to share him. Something shifts in her expression, not acceptance. Exactly. But maybe the possibility of eventual acceptance. I should go, she says. I have an appointment. With your therapist? Roderick asks hopefully. Don't push it. But she almost smiles. I'll call you. Next week. Maybe. She picks up her purse and walks toward the door. Then she stops and turns back. For what it's worth, she says, looking at me. You were right. About what you said in his office. I was projecting my trauma, seeing danger where there wasn't any. She pauses. My therapist says I need to work on that. Then she's gone, leaving us standing in the lobby with Wilson and half of security. Did that just happen? I ask. I think so, Roderick says. I'm not entirely sure. Wilson starts a slow clap. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you handle family drama. I expect an invitation to the wedding. Wilson. I'm blushing furiously. What? I'm just saying. You two are clearly endgame. Roderick pulls me closer. He's not wrong. I look up at him. This man who climbed onto an elevator shaft in a $3,000 suit. Who chose me over his sister. Who loves me despite all my baggage and fear. We haven't even been on 5 real dates, I point out. Then we should probably fix that. How about dinner tonight? And tomorrow night? And possibly every night for the foreseeable future. That sounds perfect. He kisses me, right there in the lobby with Wilson cheering and security guards pretending not to watch. And for the first time since Jenna died, since my life fell apart, I let myself believe in happy endings. Not because everything is perfect, it's not. Elise is barely tolerating me. I was just trapped in an elevator, and I still have a mountain of debt and a studio apartment with a leaky faucet. But I have Roderick, and Emma, and the possibility of something beautiful, and sometimes, that's enough. Chapter 11, The Truth Revealed. 6 months later, and life is good. Not perfect, life is never perfect, but good in a way I never thought possible. Roderick and I are still navigating the weird balance of working together and dating. Some days it's easy, other days I want to throw staplers at his head, because he's demanding and particular and refuses to eat lunch unless I literally put food in front of him. But then he'll look up from his desk and smile at me, and I remember why I'm doing this. Emma is thriving. She turned 1 last month, and Roderick threw her a birthday party that was so over-the-top ridiculous it made me cry. A bouncy castle. A petting zoo. A custom cake shaped like her favorite stuffed bunny. She's 1, I told him. She won't remember any of this, but we will, he said, taking about 1,000 photos. And someday, we'll show her these pictures, and she'll know she was loved. He says it so naturally now, like we're a unit, like we're a family. Elise has been tolerable. She calls Roderick once a week, and occasionally she asks about Emma, in a tone that suggests she's performing a social obligation rather than actually caring. But she hasn't threatened me or tried to sabotage our relationship, which feels like progress. She's still in therapy. Roderick says she's making breakthroughs, though she refuses to discuss them with him. She'll talk to me when she's ready, he says. I just have to be patient. Today is Friday, and I'm organizing Roderick's calendar for next week when my phone rings. It's Catherine from the daycare. My stomach immediately tightens. Calls from daycare are never good. Hello? Stella, everything's fine, Catherine says quickly. Emma's fine. But we had a situation today, and I wanted to let you know about it. What kind of situation? Elise came by. She asked if she could see Emma for a few minutes, said she wanted to bring her a gift for her birthday. I know it's a bit late, but she was very insistent. I called you first, but you didn't answer, so I called Mr. Lawson. He approved the visit. My blood runs cold. She's there right now? She just left. She was here for about 20 minutes. Stella, I want to assure you that I stayed with them the entire time. I didn't leave them alone for a second. What did she do? She played with Emma, built blocks with her, read her a book. It was actually quite sweet. Emma seemed to like her. I don't know what to do with that information. Thank you for telling me. Of course, I just wanted you to know. I hope I did the right thing by calling Mr. Lawson. You did exactly right. Thank you, Catherine. I hang up and immediately march into Roderick's office. Your sister was at Emma's daycare. He looks up, and he doesn't seem surprised. I know. Catherine called me. And you approved it, without talking to me first? Stella. He sets down his pen. She asked permission. She went through the proper channels. What was I supposed to say? No. You can never see my girlfriend's daughter? Yes. That's exactly what you should have said. I'm aware I'm being irrational, but I can't stop. She threatened me, Roderick. She threatened to destroy my life, to go after my custody of Emma, and now she's just showing up at her daycare like none of that happened? She's in therapy. She's trying. Trying what? To get close to Emma so she can use her against me later. Or maybe she's trying to be part of our lives. His voice is gentle but firm. Stella, I know you're scared, but Elise has been making real progress. Her therapist says she's dealing with the trauma instead of just managing it. This visiting Emma, it's a big step for her. A big step toward what? Toward accepting that I'm happy. That you make me happy. That Emma makes me happy. He stands and comes around his desk. She brought Emma a stuffed wolf, said every kid should have a wolf to protect them. Despite my anger, something in my chest cracks. She said that? Catherine sent me a photo. Want to see? He pulls out his phone and shows me. There's Emma, grinning her four-toothed grin, clutching a plush gray wolf that's almost as big as she is. And standing behind her, barely in frame, is Elise, with an expression I've never seen before. She looks soft, almost tender. I don't know how to feel about this, I admit. You don't have to know right now, but maybe give her a chance. She's trying, Stella, really trying. I want to argue. I want to protect Emma from any possible threat. But I also remember what Wilson said months ago. Maybe she's just gone. Maybe Elise isn't gone. Maybe she's just changing. Okay, I say finally. But if she does anything that makes me uncomfortable, then we'll deal with it. Together. He pulls me close. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you or Emma. Not even my sister, I know. And I do know. These past 6 months have proven that Roderick means what he says. I go back to my desk, but I can't focus. I keep thinking about Elise playing with Emma, about the stuffed wolf, about the possibility that maybe people really can change. The following Tuesday, Roderick asks me to come to dinner at his house. Nothing fancy, he promises. Just you, me, and Emma. I'll cook. You can cook? I can order takeout and put it on real plates. Does that count? I laugh. That absolutely counts. His house is in one of those neighborhoods I've only ever driven through on my way to somewhere else. Massive properties with gates and landscaping, and the kind of security that suggests the residents have things worth protecting. This is where you live? I ask as the gate swings open. It's too big, he admits. I bought it thinking I'd fill it with family someday. With kids and noise and chaos. Instead, it's just me and a housekeeper who comes twice a week. Roderick, but maybe that's changing. He glances at me, and there's something hopeful in his expression. Maybe it won't be just me anymore. My heart does that complicated flutter thing it does whenever he hints at a future together. The house is beautiful, all clean lines and huge windows and expensive furniture that probably costs more than everything I own combined. But it also feels empty, like a showroom rather than a home. It needs photos, I say, looking at the bare walls. And maybe some color. Everything's so gray. I told you it's too big. He sets Emma down in the living room, and she immediately crawls toward a glass coffee table. He lunges to stop her. Also, it's definitely not baby-proofed. We spend the next hour following Emma around, stopping her from touching expensive things and climbing on furniture that wasn't designed for toddlers. This is exhausting, Roderick says, catching her just before she pulls herself up on an antique side table. How do you do this all day? Practice and strategic furniture arrangement. I scoop Emma up. Also accepting that some things are going to get broken. Nothing in this house has ever been broken. Then it's not really lived in, is it? He looks around at his pristine, perfect house. And something shifts in his expression. No, I guess it's not. Dinner is Chinese takeout eaten on the floor, because Emma refuses to sit still in the fancy dining chairs. Roderick keeps apologizing for the informality, but I love it watching him sit cross-legged on his expensive hardwood floors, feeding Emma lo mein and laughing when she gets it in her hair. This is nice, I say. Sitting on the floor, eating lukewarm Chinese food, being here. With you. Feeling like this could be our life. He goes very still. Is that something you want? This being our life? I don't know. Maybe. It's fast. It's been 6 months. 6 months isn't that long, Stella. He sets down his chopsticks. I knew I wanted you after 3 weeks. The rest has just been waiting for you to catch up. My throat tightens. Roderick, I'm not proposing. Not yet. But I'm telling you that when you're ready, when Emma's ready, there's space for you here. Both of you. Not as guests. As family. I'm crying again. I cry so much these days. Happy tears and overwhelmed tears and tears I can't quite explain. That's a really big step. I manage. I know. That's why I'm not pushing. But I wanted you to know it's an option. That I'm serious about this. About us. Emma chooses that moment to smash a fortune cookie, scattering crumbs everywhere, and we both laugh. Very subtle timing, Emma. I tell her. She just grins and tries to eat the fortune. After dinner, Roderick shows us around. 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a backyard with a pool, and a garden that looks like something from a magazine. That room at the end of the hall, he says casually. I've been thinking about converting it to a nursery. If Emma ever stays over. Or if... He stops. Just, options. I look at the room he's indicating. It's currently an office or a guest room, but I can imagine it painted in soft colors, filled with toys, Emma's crib by the window. Our life. Here, it's terrifying and wonderful and too much to process. Can I think about it? I ask. Take all the time you need. He pulls me close. I'm not going anywhere. We're getting ready to leave when the doorbell rings. Roderick frowns. I'm not expecting anyone. He goes to answer it, and I hear voices, his and a woman's. My stomach sinks when I realize it's Elise. I'm sorry for showing up unannounced. She's saying. I should have called, but I was in the neighborhood and I thought. She stops when she sees me coming down the hallway with Emma on my hip. Oh, you have company. Elise. What's wrong? Roderick asks. You look upset. She does look upset. Her usually perfect appearance is disheveled. Her hair slightly messed. Her makeup smudged like she's been crying. I'm fine. I shouldn't have come. She turns to leave, but Roderick catches her arm. Talk to me, please. She looks at me, then Emma, then back at Roderick. Not in front of. Whatever you need to say, you can say in front of Stella. Elise's jaw tightens. Then, surprisingly, she nods. Fine. Can we sit? We end up in the living room, me on the couch with Emma, Roderick in the chair across from me. Elise perched on the edge of the other chair like she might bolt at any moment. My therapist wants me to tell you something, Elise says, not looking at either of us. She says I need to be honest about what happened, about why I've been so. She trails off. Controlling? Roderick supplies gently. Irrational. Elise corrects. About why I've been irrational when it comes to your relationships. Roderick leans forward. Alice, you don't have to. I do. She says I can't heal until I stop hiding it. Elise takes a shaky breath. 15 years ago, I was in a relationship. His name was. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I thought I loved him. I thought he loved me. But he was controlling. Manipulative. And when I tried to leave, her voice breaks. Elise. Roderick's voice is gentle. We don't have to do this now. Yes, we do. Because you need to understand why I've been so awful to Stella. She finally looks at me. When you first showed up, single mother, struggling financially, Suddenly in my brother's life, right when he was vulnerable after the divorce, I saw him, my ex. I saw someone who would use Roderick, take advantage of his kindness, and then destroy him when he was no longer useful. That's not, I start. I know. She holds up a hand. I know that now. My therapist has been helping me see that not everyone is like him. That I've been projecting my trauma onto every situation, seeing danger where there isn't any. Emma babbles and reaches for my hair, completely oblivious to the heavy conversation happening around her. After the attack, Elise continues, and I realize this is the first time she's used that word. I felt powerless, helpless. So I tried to control everything I could. Roderick's life, my own life, anyone who came close to us. I told myself I was protecting him, but really I was just trying to protect myself from feeling that powerless again. Tears are streaming down her face now, and she's not bothering to wipe them away. And when Catherine called and said Emma had gotten sick during the visit, that she'd thrown up and cried, I realized. She stops, taking a shaky breath. I realized that I'd been so focused on protecting Roderick from imaginary threats, that I never stopped to consider that maybe the real threat was me. My fear. My inability to let him be happy. Emma got sick? I ask, alarmed. Just a little tummy ache, Elise says quickly. Catherine said it happens sometimes, but seeing this tiny person who depends on you, who trusts you, and knowing that my presence might have upset her. Her voice cracks. I don't want to be the person who brings chaos into innocent lives. I don't want to be him. Roderick moves to sit beside his sister, pulling her into a hug she doesn't resist. You're nothing like him, he says firmly. Nothing. You're a survivor, who's been doing her best with unimaginable trauma. But Elise, you can't keep living in fear. You can't keep pushing away everyone who tries to get close. I know. She's sobbing now. Really sobbing. I know, and I'm trying, but it's so hard. Being vulnerable is so hard. I watch them, these siblings who love each other but have been trapped in their own pain, and something shifts in my chest. I stand up, still holding Emma, and move to sit on Elise's other side. I understand, I say quietly. She looks at me, surprised. When my sister died, I was terrified. Terrified of messing up Emma, of not being enough, of everyone seeing that I'm just pretending to have my life together. And when Roderick came into my life, I glance at him. I kept pushing him away because I was so sure he'd realize I'm not worth the trouble. But you didn't destroy anything, Elise says. You took care of your niece. You kept going, because I didn't have a choice. But given a choice, I would have run. I wanted to run. I still want to run sometimes when things get hard. I shift Emma to my other hip. Fear is exhausting. But it's also human, and you don't have to be perfect or healed or completely over your trauma to deserve love and connection. Elise is staring at me like I've said something profound instead of just stating the obvious. I don't know how to do this, she whispers. How to let people in without being terrified they'll hurt me. One day at a time, I say, echoing the same advice I've been giving myself for months. And with help, therapy, support, people who love you, I look at Roderick. Family, Roderick repeats, and he's looking at me with so much love it makes my chest ache. We sit there for a long time, me, Roderick, Elise and Emma, who's fallen asleep against my shoulder. It's not comfortable, and it's definitely not the clean resolution you see in movies, but it's real. It's honest. It's three broken people trying to figure out how to be whole. Thank you, Elise says eventually, for not giving up on Roderick, for not running when I tried to scare you away. Thank you for trying, I respond, for going to therapy, for being honest, for caring enough about your brother to face your fear. She nods, then stands. I should go. I've disrupted your evening enough. You're always welcome here, Roderick says. Both of you, Stella and Elise. This house is too big for just me. It could use some family. Elise almost smiles. I'll think about it. After she leaves, Roderick and I sit in the quiet house with Emma sleeping between us. That was intense, he says finally. Yeah, but good, I think. Progress. Definitely progress. I look at him. Your sister's been through hell. I know. And for years, I enabled her fear because I felt guilty. Guilty that I couldn't protect her. that I wasn't there when it happened. But my therapist, yes. I started seeing someone too, says that helping her means not letting her control my life out of fear. You're in therapy? 3 months now. Seemed hypocritical to expect Elise to go if I wasn't willing to do the work myself. He reaches over and takes my hand. You make me want to be better, Stella. Healthier. Whole. You make me want the same things. We sit there until Emma wakes up fussy, and then we pack up to head home to my tiny apartment. But as we're leaving, I look back at Roderick's big empty house, and I let myself imagine Emma running through these rooms. Imagine photos on the walls, toys scattered on the floors, the sound of laughter echoing in the empty spaces. Imagine this being home. What are you thinking about? Roderick asks. The future. I admit. And how maybe it's not as scary as I thought. He smiles and kisses me softly. The future is going to be amazing, I promise. And for the first time, I believe him. Epilogue. 1 year later. Emma Grace Watkins, you get back here right now. My daughter, now 2 years old and far too fast for her own good, squeals with laughter and runs down the hallway of what is now our home. Roderick's house. Our house. I'm still getting used to that. She's wearing her flower girl dress for the 3rd time this week, even though the wedding isn't for another 2 days. She's also wearing rain boots because she's 2 and logic doesn't exist in her world yet. I've got her. Roderick calls from the kitchen, and I hear more squealing followed by his deep laugh. I lean against the doorframe and watch him scoop her up, spinning her around while she giggles. He's in jeans and a t-shirt, flour somehow smudged on his cheek, and he's never looked more handsome. We're making cookies, he announces. Well, Emma's eating the dough and I'm making cookies. That's not how that works. She's very persuasive. He sets her down on the counter, now equipped with safety locks on all the cabinets and soft corners on everything, and hands her a wooden spoon. She's also the best sous chef I've ever had. You've never had a sous chef. Exactly. So she wins by default. I cross the kitchen and kiss him, tasting chocolate chips. You're covered in flour. And you're covered in paint. We're a mess. He's right, I've been working on the nursery all morning. The nursery that will soon house Emma's little brother or sister. We found out 2 weeks ago, and I'm still processing. How's it coming? He asks, like he can read my mind. Good. The walls are almost done. We just need to decide on furniture. And by we, you mean, you've already decided, and you're waiting for me to agree. You know me so well. Emma bangs her spoon against the bowl, demanding attention, and we both laugh. This is our life now. Chaos and flour, and a toddler who refuses to wear matching socks. It's messy and imperfect, and nothing like I imagined. It's perfect. The doorbell rings, and Emma immediately starts yelling, Auntie, Auntie. I open the door to find Elise standing there with 2 shopping bags and a slightly nervous smile. I hope I'm not too early, she says. I know you said 2 o'clock, but I found this adorable outfit for Emma, and I couldn't wait to. She stops, taking in Emma's flower girl dress and rain boots combination. Or she's already dressed. That works too. Come in, I say warmly. We're making cookies, or attempting to. Elise has been coming around more often over the past year. Weekly dinners, occasional babysitting, holidays spent together. It's not always easy. There are still moments when I can see her retreating into old fears, when she looks at me with suspicion before catching herself. But she's trying. We're all trying. Auntie brought you a present, Elise tells Emma, pulling out a tiny dress that probably cost more than my first car. Emma claps her hands, covered in cookie dough. Pretty. Let's wash your hands first, sweet girl, I say, carrying her to the sink. Elise watches us, and there's something soft in her expression. She's gotten so big. She's a menace, Roderick says fondly. Yesterday she figured out how to unlock the baby gates. We're officially living with a tiny escape artist. She gets that from Stella, Elise says. And it takes me a moment to realize she's making a joke. An actual joke at my expense that isn't meant to hurt. I don't know if I should be offended or impressed that you're roasting me. Be impressed. My therapist says humor is a sign of healthy relationships. She sets her bags on the counter. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk to you both about something. Roderick and I exchange glances. Elise says I want to talk about something. Conversations could go anywhere. Should I be worried? Roderick asks. No. Maybe. I don't know. She takes a breath. I've been seeing someone. The kitchen goes silent except for Emma's babbling. Seeing someone as in dating? I ask carefully. Yes. His name is Salvador. He's an accountant. Roderick's eyebrows shoot up. Salvador from my accounting department? Fantasy football Salvador? He's very nice once you get past the sports talk, Elise says defensively. And he's been very patient with my issues. Very understanding about the therapy and the boundaries and… She stops. I really like him, and I wanted you to know before the wedding. In case he's there. You invited him to our wedding? Roderick looks delighted. I thought about it. If that's okay. I know it's your day. Elise. I set Emma down and crossed to her. Of course it's okay. We'd love to meet him. Properly meet him, I mean. Not just in the hallway at work. She looks relieved and terrified all at once. He makes me feel safe. For the first time since… She doesn't finish the sentence. She doesn't have to. Roderick pulls his sister into a hug. I'm happy for you. Really happy. Don't get too excited. We've only been dating for 3 months. It might not go anywhere, but it might, I say. And that's worth celebrating. Emma chooses that moment to dump an entire bag of chocolate chips on the floor, and chaos erupts. But it's the good kind of chaos. The kind that comes from a house that's actually lived in, from people who are messy and imperfect and trying their best. 2 days later, I'm standing in front of a mirror in a white dress I never thought I'd wear. It's not a traditional wedding dress, more like a nice white sundress that I can wear again. Because spending thousands on something I'll only use once seems wasteful. But it's beautiful. And when I look at myself, I see someone I barely recognize. Someone happy, someone hopeful, someone who's allowed to have good things. You look beautiful, Nikki says, adjusting my hair for the 7th time. She's my maid of honor. Though the ceremony is small enough that the title feels almost silly. I'm getting married, I say, and it still doesn't feel real. To a millionaire CEO who looks at you like you hung the moon. Yeah, you're definitely getting married. What if I mess it up? What if I'm not good at being married? Stella. Nikki takes my hands. You've been living together for 6 months. You've already merged your lives. This is just making it official, but no buts. You love him. He loves you. Emma loves him. That's all that matters. There's a knock on the door, and Catherine pokes her head in. 5 minutes, and Emma is trying to eat the cake, so we might need to speed this up. I laugh through tears. Of course, Emma is trying to eat the cake. The ceremony is in Roderick's backyard, our backyard with 30 people, and enough flowers to open a shop. Wilson officiates because of course he does. He got ordained online specifically for this occasion and won't stop reminding everyone. Emma is supposed to be the flower girl, but she makes it halfway down the aisle before abandoning her basket and running to Roderick yelling, "Daddy." My heart stops. She's never called him that before. We've been taking it slow, letting her adjust, not pushing labels, but there she is. Arms up, demanding to be held by the man who's been her father in every way that matters. Roderick scoops her up without hesitation. Tears streaming down his face, and I start walking down the aisle before the music even starts. Because this is my family. This imperfect, pieced together, beautiful family. You're early, Wilson whispers as I reach the front. I got impatient. Roderick is holding Emma with one arm, and reaching for me with the other. Hi. I take his hand, and Emma's, forming a circle. The vows are simple. We promise to be honest, even when it's hard. To support each other's dreams. To be patient with each other's fears. To build a home filled with love and laughter, and the occasional chaos that comes with children. I promise to bring you coffee every morning, Roderick says, going off script. And to remind you to eat lunch. I promise to organize your files. I respond. And to tell you when you're being too controlling. I promise to love Emma like she's mine, he says, his voice breaking. Because she is mine. You both are. I'm crying openly now. I promise to let you love us. Even when it's scary. Even when I want to run. I promise to stay. You may now kiss. Wilson starts. But Roderick's already kissing me. And Emma is squealing between us. And everyone is laughing and crying and celebrating. This is our happy ending. Not because everything is perfect, but because we fought for it, because we chose each other, every day, even when it was hard. At the reception, Elise makes a toast. I wasn't sure about Stella when I first met her, she admits. And there's nervous laughter. I thought she was after my brother's money. I thought she was using him. I was wrong about everything. She looks at me, and there are tears in her eyes. Stella isn't after anything except love and stability and a safe place for her daughter. She's not using my brother, she's saving him. From loneliness, from isolation, from the empty life he was living before she crashed into it. She raises her glass. To Stella and Roderick, may your life be filled with exactly the kind of chaos that comes from being truly, deeply loved. The crowd cheers, and I catch Elisa's eye across the room. She nods, and I nod back. We're not best friends, we might never be, but we're family. And that's enough. Later, when Emma is asleep upstairs and the guests have gone home, Roderick and I sit on the back porch watching the sunset. "How are you feeling, Mrs. Lawson?" he asks. Weird. Good weird. Like I'm living someone else's life. It's your life now. Our life. I lean against him, feeling the baby flutter inside me. I'm pregnant at a wedding. Very classy. You're pregnant at our wedding. There's a difference. He places his hand on my stomach. And we're going to have another baby. A little brother or sister for Emma. How did we get so lucky? I don't know. But I'm terrified I'm going to wake up and it'll all be gone. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. He tilts my chin up. You're stuck with me, Stella Lawson. For better or worse, richer or poorer, in sickness and health. You already said those vows. I know. But I wanted to say them again. I'll say them every day if that's what it takes for you to believe this is real. It's real, I whisper. I'm starting to believe it's real. We sit there as darkness falls, and I think about the girl I was 18 months ago. Desperate, scared, texting the wrong person because she was too proud to ask for help. If I could go back and tell her everything that was coming, the job, the love, the family, the happiness, she wouldn't believe me, but she'd be glad she sent that text. Thank you, I say suddenly. For what? For answering. That day when I accidentally texted you, for not ignoring me. Are you kidding? Best wrong text I ever received. He kisses my temple. Changed my whole life. Mine too. Emma calls from upstairs she's had a nightmare or needs water or just wants attention. Roderick stands to go to her, because that's what he does now. He's her father in every way that matters. I'll get her, I say, but he's already heading inside. Stay, rest, you're growing a human. I watch him disappear into the house. This man who looked at my messy life and decided it was worth loving, who took on a baby that wasn't his and a woman with more baggage than the airport, who fought for us when everyone said it was a bad idea. My phone buzzes with a text from Nikki. You did it. You got your happy ending. I'm so proud of you. I look up at the stars, thinking about Jenna, wondering if she can see this, if she knows that Emma is safe and loved and thriving, that I'm not failing her anymore. I hope you're proud of me, I whisper to the night. I hope you know I'm doing my best. The wind rustles through the trees, and I choose to believe that's her answer. Roderick returns with Emma, who's clutching her stuffed wolf and looking sleepy. She wanted her mama. I take her, and she immediately curls against my chest. Hey, baby girl. Bad dream? Monsters, she mumbles. There are no monsters here. Daddy scared them all away. Daddy, she repeats. And my heart swells. And mama. And baby. She pats my stomach with surprising accuracy. That's right. Mama and daddy and you and baby. We're a family. Family, she agrees, already drifting back to sleep. Roderick sits beside us, and we watch our daughter sleep under the stars. This is it. This is the life I fought for, the life I was too scared to hope for. It's messy and complicated, and filled with people healing from trauma and learning how to love. It's absolutely perfect. 3 years later, Emma is 5 and starting kindergarten. Our son, Daniel, is 2 and currently attempting to climb everything that exists. The house is chaos, toys everywhere, sticky handprints on the walls, grass stains and laughter and the kind of noise that comes from a home that's truly lived in. Roderick works from home more often now. His office converted into a playroom because Emma asks sweetly and he can't say no to her. Elise married Salvador last summer. Their daughter was born 3 months ago, and watching Elise become a mother has been beautiful and terrifying and healing all at once. She's doing great, her therapist tells me when we run into each other at the coffee shop. Yes, Elise asked me to meet her therapist. Yes, it was weird. Yes, it helped. She's terrified, I respond. Of course she is, but fear and love can coexist. She's learning that. I think about that a lot. About how fear and love do coexist. How being scared doesn't mean you can't be brave. How healing isn't linear or perfect or complete. It just is. I'm working part-time now, consulting for Lawson Enterprises from home. It's not the same as being Roderick's assistant, but it's better. I have time with my kids. Time to breathe. Time to be. And sometimes when Emma asks about her first mommy, I tell her about Jenna, about how brave she was, how kind, how much she wanted Emma to be happy. She's watching you, I tell Emma. And she's so proud of how you're growing up. Like an angel? Emma asks. Exactly like an angel. This morning I found Roderick standing in Daniel's room, just watching him sleep. What are you thinking about? I asked. How different my life could have been. If you hadn't texted me that day, if I'd ignored it, if you'd never taken the job. Alternate universes are depressing. Let's not think about them. He turned to me, and there were tears in his eyes. I never thought I'd have this. A family, kids. Someone who loves me not for what I can provide but for who I am. Roderick Lawson, you are the most extra sappy man I've ever met. I'm serious. I know. And I love you for it. I took his hand. But we need to get downstairs before Emma convinces herself she knows how to make breakfast. She's 5. How much damage can she do? The answer, it turned out, was significant. We found her covered in pancake mix, Daniel eating syrup directly from the bottle, and the kitchen looking like a tornado had hit it. I was helping, Emma announced proudly, and instead of being upset, Roderick just laughed. She's definitely your daughter. She's our daughter. Our beautiful, chaotic, perfect daughter. We cleaned up the mess together, all 4 of us. Even Daniel, who mostly just smeared syrup on more surfaces. And I thought about how this is what happiness looks like. Not perfection. Not a pristine house or a perfect family or an absence of problems. Just love. Messy, complicated, beautiful love. That night, after the kids are asleep, Roderick and I sit on our back porch like we did on our wedding night. Do you ever regret it? I ask. Taking a chance on the single mom who accidentally texted you. Every day, he deadpans. I smack his arm. Roderick, I'm kidding. He pulls me close, laughing. Stella, you are the best decision I ever made. You and Emma and Daniel and this chaotic, beautiful life we built. I regret nothing. Even the time Emma cut her own hair, the day before your company photo. Especially that. The photo is hilarious. Or when Daniel flushed your watch down the toilet. It was insured. And the look on his face was priceless. I nestle against him, feeling safe and loved and home. I love you. I love you too. More than I have words for. Then show me instead. So he does. And as we sit under the stars, in the house that was once too big and empty but is now filled with exactly the right amount of chaos, I think about wrong text messages and second chances and the courage it takes to let someone love you. I think about Jenna and how I hope she'd be proud of the life I've built for Emma. For myself, I think about Elise and how trauma doesn't have to define us forever. How healing is possible, even when it seems impossible. I think about Roderick and how one person's kindness can change everything. But mostly, I just feel grateful. Grateful for wrong text messages and right timing. Grateful for men who answered desperate pleas from strangers. Grateful for second chances and found families and love that refuses to give up. Grateful for this messy, imperfect, absolutely perfect life. What are you thinking about? Roderick murmurs. Everything, nothing, how lucky I am. We're lucky, he corrects. We found each other. Best wrong text ever. I agree. And as the stars shine above us, and our children sleep safely inside, I know that this right here, right now, is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is my happy ending, and it's just the beginning. Thanks so much for reading, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed Stella and Roderick's journey from that desperate text message to their beautiful happy ending. This story was such an emotional ride to write, from Stella's struggles as a single mom to Roderick's battle between family loyalty and new love, and especially Alice's healing journey. These characters really came alive for me, and I hope they did for you too. I'd love to hear from you. Please give this story a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below telling me, what was your favorite moment in the story? Which character did you connect with most? Did the pacing work for you? Speaking of pacing, I'm curious about your preferences. Do you prefer stories under an hour, closer to an hour, or even longer? Your feedback really helps me shape future stories to give you exactly what you want. And if you have any title suggestions for the next emotional romance story, drop them in the comments. I love seeing what scenarios you all come up with. Your ideas have led to some of my best work. Thanks again for being here and being part of this community. You all make writing these stories so rewarding. I'll see you in the next one. Clarissa.